Hey everyone, Game Hounds podcast. We are here. We are late. Nick, you will notice Nick has a slightly different background than he normally does. Where are you right now, Nick?
Gilroy.
Gilroy.
Yeah, which
Gil-
is like a hour or so south of San
yeah.
Francisco.
And I thought you were on your way back. You're actually on your way out.
No.
So
Yes.
you're only like 2 hours from where you live.
Yeah. No, less than that.
Yeah. Actually, it's right because you're in San Mateo. It's 2 hours from where I am.
Yeah.
So it's like
No.
an hour and a
We're.
half, an hour. So
This is like the
why
first.
Gilroy? Why?
It's like the first stop in a little road trip. We're here. I don't think they do the garlic festival anymore, but we're gonna like stop, get some sort of
Ever since
garlicky
the
dinner.
shooting. Yeah.
Then tomorrow we're gonna go to the Monterey Zoo and do like a special. They have like a B&B thing
They have a
on the zoo
zoo or is it
grounds.
the aquarium?
Zoo.
Oh, I didn't know Monterey had a zoo.
Yeah, I guess my at the smaller zoo, but they have like a B&B on the zoo grounds that you can get next to like a field where they bring the animals out into.
Oh, that's kind of
Um,
cool.
yeah, and so we're gonna do that. Check out the zoo tomorrow, and then the next day we're gonna head down to Monterey proper, hang out there. Carmel spa day. So it's just kind
Nice.
of like a road trip, a couple hours away.
Yeah.
It's a couple
That's
hour road trip.
when I have gone down to the ranch, that's right where I am. That's right where I am.
Oh,
Just
really?
slightly in from there. Yeah. They're essentially right next to just north of Paso Robles. So
Yeah,
that's
driving down
slightly
here,
inward.
this definitely looks like ranch territory.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you go 20 minutes tops. I mean, even in traffic, 20 minutes south of San Jose, you're in ranches.
Yeah,
It's ranch.
San Jose is. We were just talking about this on the way down here. San Jose is like the last bastion of Bay Area civilization, and then
Mhm.
it's nothing.
Then it's not that it's nothing. It's just
That's true.
farmlands.
It's not nothing.
It's
Yeah,
it's the it's
farmlands
the
and little towns.
breadbasket of the world right
I
there.
don't
That's
think
where
this is
it
the
starts.
breadbasket of the world. That's like
Little bit
more Modesto, right?
no, no. It's you're heading into it. Watsonville, pretty much from like Gilroy to Watsonville south.
I thought Modesto was like the heavy farm area, like more central.
Modesto is. It's like yeah, yeah. You're going. You're at the neck where it goes from the central to the valley, the actual breadbasket. To you're gonna take a right and go out to the coast. Is what you're gonna do.
Mm, mm-hmm.
So you are in it right now, and you won't be soon. Hi everyone. We're just talking California stuff. Hi AC Ray. He is here. Thank you for reminding us of the Patreon. Freebird. All right. So, Nick, did you bring it? We have it. To popular demand, we have the macaroni and cheese gummies from Walmart, and we will be eating these today. And I'm not looking forward to this. What's I will say, let's crack it open right now.
Yes, yes.
Because I want to say you can't really see it very well, but it looks disgusting. It looks absolutely disgusting inside of there. It just looks
So
like
okay, I'm not going to tell you what I read, but I
oh
read
god.
something on the Amazon listing that I think may have spoiled the experience for me.
Oh, don't tell me then.
I won't. I won't.
Don't tell me. But it is definitely Kraft mac. Dog thinks it's dog treats. It's not dog cookies. It's not treats. Dog's like, I know
You know
that
what's funny
sound.
is they look like mac and cheese. They look like
They're
cooked mac and cheese.
orange. Do we want to do this now? Let's see who's in the chat. Should we do
Yeah,
this now?
I thought you wanted to do it
Yeah,
at the
I want to
beginning.
wait till somebody's. Oh, what the fuck? Only in America. I know. Only in America could you have this mocha choca bullshit that we're about to do. AC Ray says, I almost had mac and cheese. That my housemate says I undercooked. Then my housemate came and made us something else.
Good on your housemates.
Yeah. All right, I gotta open this. Do I have something to open it with? So we're gonna eat this. Oh
Okay.
God, this I just. Oh, that is not the smell I expected.
No, smell it, right?
I can. It's hard not to smell. It is absolutely impossible not to smell right now because
But it
is
doesn't smell like mac
It
and
is
cheese.
not. It's not cookies. It's not treats for you, at least. Barely treats for me.
It smells like a fruit snack.
It smells like a gummy bear. I think that they are gummies only in like form factor and not in taste, which I'm a little disappointed about. So you ready to do this? You know, it tastes like shit, Easy Mac. Agreed. If you're not going to make, if Kraft macaroni and cheese is too difficult for you to make, you shouldn't be eating. You should just go get yourself a diet shake or something. Because Easy Mac is
Easy
like,
Mac like even simpler?
yeah, isn't Easy Mac the one where
is-
you just fill it up with water? It's essentially a cross between
Hmm.
macaroni and cheese and ramen.
Oh.
You know, it's not ramen. It's just like the fill it up 2 minutes and it's done. And you just stick it in the microwave and heat it up.
But how's that possible with cheese?
Exactly, because macaroni and cheese doesn't have any cheese in it. Kraft macaroni and cheese doesn't. I mean, it does, but it's like cheese solids. It's not actually cheese.
Okay, eat it.
Show me one by one. Two. Wait, hold on a second. Should we eat this now or should we wait? Everybody in the chat room. I don't know. So what is in this? I'm reading the nutrition facts, which is a lie on both counts. Serving size is 7 pieces and it's 90 calories, so it's more than 10 calories a piece. It has got nothing but sugar. Nothing but sugar. 7 of these constitute, according to the daily value presented by the FDA, the percentage of your daily intake. 7 of these constitute 26% of your recommended daily intake of sugar. But it's got 2 grams of protein.
Really?
26%.
Who needs steak?
Gelatin, sorbitol, citric acid, artificial colors, red, yellow, or red 40, yellow 5, titanium dioxide. We are eating like a shitstorm of chemicals for your entertainment.
I mean, if you look at the ingredients list for any gummy.
That's true.
Okay.
AC Ray says, my aunt makes good mac and cheese with real cheese. Some of it's Fido at family gatherings. Oh, yeah. Real mac and cheese. This is Kraft mac and cheese is not real mac and cheese. ESO, anyone? Fuck you off. All right. We're going to eat these. Ready? Macaroni and cheese gummies. Here they are. Moment of truth. 3, 2, 1.5.
Oh. That's a coward's way out.
It's a coward's way out.
It's a fruit snack.
It tastes like fruit snack.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually not
cowards. Bad. How do you advertise macaroni and cheese gummy and not have it taste like Kraft?
Because you bought it.
Touche.
They did put a bunch of like powder on it in order to keep it from like becoming a like unified block of just gummy.
Okay, I could eat
all
these the rest of the show.
Yeah, all right. Let's put those away. So
okay,
you can do
that.
They're really
I don't
good.
Have that willpower.
They're really, really good. They taste like
this is my dinner.
They're like gummy bears, but they're slightly sweeter and more like fruit flavored, like fruit punch flavored. It's fruit punch flavored gummy bears or gummies.
Nice catch.
Shape of a macaroni and cheese. What does Rachel say?
It's a fruit snack. It's just a fruit snack. It's not even. She says it's not even a good fruit snack. It's just a fruit snack.
Yeah, I could eat these. So, great gag gift
Not taste like mac
to
and
give to
cheese, they
somebody.
taste like all the chemicals of Kraft mac.
She's tasting all the chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they won't be the worst thing that we get you to eat. No, and
I don't know
remember, we
about
still
that
have our
because
vote going.
everything Edie put in the second poll looks good.
To you.
I would eat all of those.
Man, you're right. These are freaking addictive.
See too.
Okay, so
I mean, okay. This is just a problem. I really like gummy candy. And I could just
and you wonder why
mindlessly
your
eat a
show
gummy
goes 4
candy.
hours. Yeah, I know. So you were saying, I'm sorry.
I really like gummy candy. And like I could just eat them without thinking about it and go through a whole pack of gummy bears in like
Yep.
30 minutes.
Well, these are exactly that.
Mhm.
So the gummies are as half-hearted as my attempt to show support with the undercooked mac and cheese. Yeah, those are really good. They're not dog treats. Anything that sounds like
They
a
do.
pack.
They do
What?
kind of look like dog treats.
They do look like dog treats, but it's really it's this sound that makes my dogs run to me. My plastic brings all the dogs to the yard. All right, so enough of this. Enough of the gummies. What'd you play this week?
Okay. Final Fantasy 16. More of that.
Uh-huh.
It
Oh, I have a
continues
story
to
about
be-
that coming up in the news.
Okay. I
Are
think
you playing? Yeah, it's PlayStation 5 exclusive, right?
yes.
Okay. Put
Which-
these away. God dang it.
Which I will say, I loaded up Jedi Survivor briefly, and just to like compare and contrast it with Final Fantasy 16. With Jedi Survivor, when I at the PlayStation menu and I hit Start Game, it loads in and there's an unskippable logo of the developer, an unskippable logo of EA, an unskippable logo of Star Wars. Then it gets into the main menu and I hit continue and then it spends like 30 seconds loading the game. With Final Fantasy 16, when I hit start game, it immediately takes me to the main menu. I hit continue, and before I even have a chance to like look down and grab my phone, it loads into the game.
Oh, wow.
Whatever they are doing, they're taking advantage of the SSD so much. That game loads faster than almost anything I've played before.
Wow.
It's really neat.
Yeah, we will talk about what it does to your computer in a bit. But yeah, otherwise still enjoying it, still loving it?
Yes. As I get deeper into it, the RPG aspects of it are lesser than I would have hoped. There's like a whole crafting system that kind of doesn't matter because as you go through the story just kind of naturally gives you equipment that's better than anything you could buy or craft. So like all the resources you gather in the game, all the upgrade paths that it offers you are kind of pointless. So that's a little disappointing. The world itself, I think, is really well fleshed out narratively, but there's not a lot to explore mechanically. So you get into an open area, and it's like, oh wow, a huge open area in front of me. Where should I go? Well, it looks like there's a kind of castle watchtower off to the left. I'm gonna go see what's over there, and what's over there is a castle watchtower with some locked doors. Maybe you'll pick up some crafting resources that don't have any point, but that's it. And then basically the only thing that really matters is the side quests, and they're not that complex. So in terms of expansiveness in options and how to play, It doesn't have a whole lot the way you would expect any other RPG to have, but the combat remains really, really fun and really, really well done. And the story continues to be really compelling and really well written.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely still into it. Um, but I think it's better to think of it not as much as in like complex RPG, but has a uh, God of War style action game. Oh, this is like far in advance. I don't know where you skip to, but this is like halfway through the game.
All right. Sorry.
This is like where I am right now.
Okay. Perfect.
So yeah, continues to be really interesting.
Continues to be interesting. You continue to love it, which is great. I'm glad for you.
Yeah.
Did you play anything
maybe
else?
not like RPG of the year.
It
no.
is RPG of the year, you think?
No, it wouldn't be. It may be the action game of the year, but not the RPG of the year.
What's your RPG of the year so far?
Probably Triangle Strategy.
Oh, okay. You play anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. I still have not opened up Dragon's Dogma. I'm still playing Crusader Kings, but I kind of moved on. I wasn't
Like
gonna
AC
do
Wraith
it.
AC Wraith is like, yes, plenty of hair product. Everyone there is still dressed very elaborately.
No kidding. Even the old people don't like look at this. I mean, don't put a pause on it here and bring it back. Even the old people, they don't look that old. And they still have great hair. All right.
Oh, that's because the world they live in is so crappy. He's like 30.
Yeah. They still have that dewy complexion, even though they're like, I suppose that guy's supposed to be 80 or so. Anyway, what I am playing, I still haven't played Dragon's Dogma. However, I did move on. I just kind of wanted to do it before I left it. Was Crusader Kings 3 continuing, but I wanted to do that one last thing before I put it away for a little while.
One last thing that took 20 hours?
Oh, it's not it's going to take at least 20 hours. And
at
that
least a
is,
week?
That is no, not the week. I only started it last night. Actually 2 nights ago. There's one mod I haven't played with that is by far one of the most popular mods. There's like two or three hugely popular mods. One of them is the Crusader Kings done in the style of Lord of the Rings. Essentially, they remodeled the entire game to play in Lord of the Rings world. The other one is a Game of Thrones. And I am playing.
Okay. I'm packing this back up because I can actually kind of feel myself getting full, and I'm like, no, I need it. So which one did you play?
Game of Thrones.
So I remember you talked about that last week, but you said that it was like a work in progress.
It's continuing. It's still got some jankiness to it, but the people are constantly iterating upon it and making it better and adding things and adding layers and doing new things. It's almost its own like homebrew skunkworks side development project running on the Crusader Kings engine. That's the best way I can describe it. And it is a huge community that are all working on it and creating mods for the Game of Thrones mods to add in things like better AI, to add in more side characters, to make it so that the children, if you play it in historical mode, it actually plays so that your children that you have events stay in the canon of Game of Thrones. Somebody added a mod to put to replace the Crusader Kings music that you normally hear with Game of Thrones.
Oh,
music.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's good.
So I'm very much enjoying it, and I started out as Eddard Stark. You can have a choice of starting as Eddard Stark or later on the next generation.
Oh,
But
so if you like at the beginning, you can't choose to play as like Cersei. Oh,
no, you can't choose to play Cersei. Um, uh, the
Can I can't choose to start with like Tyrion as king and see how things would turn out.
no. I mean, I don't know about the
I guess
later
you couldn't. You
one.
can't do that. But like,
No,
yeah,
because
start
you
as
have to start as a landed character. So you could start as Tyrion Lannister. No,
Tywin.
Tywin Lannister. Thank you. You could start as Tywin Lannister
Mm.
at the right.
Could I?
And where I started is just at the point where there was the what was it the what was the big war? Ah, man, I'm having a brain cramp here. The big
War
war.
of the Five Kings.
Yeah, the War of the Seven. Yeah, the one where they essentially get rid of the man, I'm having like such huge
The
Game of Thrones.
The Flame
Targaryen.
King.
When they get rid of the Targaryen, the Mad King.
Okay, so you kind of start in the past from when the book starts.
That you can do that. Or you can actually start at, because same thing with Crusader Kings. You can start either in like 800 or 1100. Same thing. You can start either at the kind of the beginning of the story of the book, not chronologically, but not maybe narratively. Or you can start at the point of where the book starts, with all of those things having had happened as it happened in the book. So I decided to play as Eddard Stark, young Eddard Stark, when Robert Baratheon was taking over the throne from the Mad King.
Taking over the crown is a very different story.
Yeah. From the Mad King, and with Jaime Lannister being the Kingslayer and the whole 9 yards. And I'm enjoying it, and already instantly everything diverged from where it was supposed to be. That instantly, like, we joined the war against the Mad King, and I was thinking to myself, I could either play this by canon, or I could go really far off the reservation at the beginning and defect and join the Targaryen side.
Oh.
I didn't do that because I wanted to play it straight. Also, because by the time I had actually determined that I might want to do that,
they were losing.
Right. There ended up being a like simultaneous death between the Mad King, who was killed by Jaime, and Robert Baratheon. They both died simultaneously.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
So, Robert's older brother. Oh man, I'm having a hard time remembering.
Wouldn't it be his younger brother? The one that
the younger brother, the middle brother.
Yeah, I can't
Who
remember
was the
his name.
one? Yeah, he was the one
not Stannis.
Not Stannis. Stannis is older brother. Okay,
yeah,
hold on.
The younger guy, the guy that gets killed by the shadow.
Right, the one that gets Stannis becomes king.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Renly is the one who doesn't become king.
Renly, that's his name.
Yeah. In fact, in this game, Renly is a child, is like a 6-year-old at this point.
I guess he would be at this point in time.
Mm-hmm. So Stannis Baratheon is my king. So it ended almost as soon as it started. And then, of course, my sister is still down in the Tower of Joy with Rhaegar. Lyanna is still down in the Tower of Joy with Rhaegar. Now, if you know anything about, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you something. So if you don't know Game of Thrones and you haven't watched it, maybe you shouldn't listen to it right now. Just stop and just fast forward 10 seconds. Tower of Joy, Rhaegar thing, that's where Jon Snow is born. Right? That becomes like the one of the biggest things in all of the whole show is that happening. Sneeze. So
But didn't Baratheon help with that? So if
Robert
he's not
Baratheon was supposed to
there-
be there. No, but it's no in the I don't know if it's in the I don't know if Robert isn't there in either the movie or the book. It is
okay. Eddard.
it is Eddard, because it's his sister he's going down to save, and like 5 other guys all go down, and they have this fight against the Storm Guard and Rhaegar, and Lyanna dies shortly after giving birth. So so I go down there and I have this fight, and Rhaegar dies, and everybody dies, and a bunch of people, bunch of guys I took with me also die. Lyanna is saved. No baby.
Oh, really?
So there's no Jon Snow.
Huh.
Yeah. So now I've had all my kids all the way up to Bran. So any other kids I have are bonus, an off book. But now I'm running my thing, running my world with no Robert Baratheon. So therefore, no. What are the other kids? What's the Joffrey?
Oh, no
Joffrey.
Joffrey.
No Joffrey.
Shit. Yeah, no Tommen.
No Tommen. Now, it's kind of funny because you go around and you will see characters like it's not, the map is not just up to the wall. It's also past the wall.
Oh, really?
So Craster's Keep is there. Gilly is his youngest daughter. It's all showing that his wives are his daughters and his daughters are his wives. What else going on down there?
You can see the Night's Watch.
You can see the Night's Watch. I've already met was it Jory, the knight?
Who's Jory?
Jory. Wasn't it Jory? Yeah, he was the knight that ends up going with Daenerys and essentially falling in love with her but following her around.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Sir Jory.
I don't think it's Jory.
Not Jory. Sir
Jorah. Yes, thank you, Corey.
Thank you. Jorah. Sorry. Jorah is there. Samwell Tarly is there. Brienne of Tarth is like the daughter of the Lord Tarth, and she's like 7, and she's like Amazonian strength, strong of body. Her characteristics are loyal, just, and forget what the third one is, like honorable, and her inheritable trait is ugly.
Oh,
because so she was supposed to be. She's supposed to. I mean, that's in the lore of the book. She was supposed to be rather ugly. Only in the movie. Only in the movie is she characterized. Is she played by, or only in the show is she played by a supermodel, a model.
Box asks, "What happens with the Red Witch? Is she there? Is she still by Stannis?"
I haven't looked.
Oh.
See, but
the thing is,
I did marry off my
she
sister
came
Lyanna
from, so
to Stannis. I don't know
where you could find her. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So where are the Lannisters then?
Lannisters are in the Red Keep. Lannisters are all there. You can see Tyrion. You can see Jaime. You can see Cersei.
So what is Cersei doing though? Because she's no longer queen.
She's a child. I think she's like. I take it back. I think she's 19.
Oh, that's right. This is right around the time. That's right. I forgot they're all kids.
Mm-hmm. Tyrion is like 8.
This is such a nerdy and bizarre, like, what if scenario.
I am thinking very hard of betrothing Sansa to Tyrion.
You mean Tyrion?
Tyrion. Dad.
Really?
He's single. He's widowed.
I guess so.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we're totally way off book. So far off book. Instantly went off book. Now, in theory, things are supposed to be happening. I'm just have historical on, but right now all of the history is so far fucked up. I don't even know what can happen.
Yeah, like I guess the like oh my god, the entire inciting incident of the story can't happen in your world.
Exactly. I'm at a loss. I've I feel like I'm starting over on Crusader Kings again because I don't know how to like it's funny when you are playing this game and you have just a history and you don't know your history very well, you just kind of go with the flow. When you've got something that you know really well, like Game of Thrones, like all of a sudden you're like, I have no idea. Who am I? Where am I? What are we doing? I don't know how to play this game. It's like, yes, I do, but I don't because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, because you can feel the divergences happen.
The divergence happened instantly.
Because like I was thinking, what historical things could happen? Oh, maybe the hand of the king gets killed, except he only got killed because Baratheon was married to Cersei, and if Baratheon's dead, that can't happen.
And I married off Stannis. All right, so Cersei can't marry Stannis.
Yeah. Jennabox says all this Game of Thrones talk makes me want to watch the series.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I realized when I started playing it, like you see these names, you run across a character, and you're like, "Oh shit, who is he?" And you have to like go back and look. Like I had to go into the Game of Thrones wiki to remind myself who that person was.
I mean, it's funny as you're sitting here talking about like the history of it and the characters. It's kind of funny how much of it I still remember. Like I still remember a lot about that show.
It's a really good story. You really should read the books. You really, really, really should read the books. And I hate to be that person that said you should read the book, but the books are so good, and they're different. This does not hold to the story like perfectly.
The TV show is like the Crusader Kings spinoff of the books, and now Crusader Kings spinoff is from the show.
The books are so fucking rich. Oh my god. Oh my, like the books make the television show. Don't get me wrong, television show is amazing, but the books take it up to 11.
I will do the same thing I did with Half-Life and Attack on Titan. I will start it when it's finished. And so in both
they're never going to finish the books. They're never going to. What happened? Well, does that mean when George dies?
I don't know. Whenever they're finished.
They're never going to get finished.
Neither is Half-Life. I've been waiting for Attack on Titan to end for the past like 7 years.
Yeah, but they're still making Attack on Titan.
Oh,
those books are, the book series is done. The book series is
the
done.
book series is done.
It's never going. There's never going to be another book.
I was hopeful last year when I saw Attack on Titan final season is this year. Turns out it was final season part 1, and this year will be final season part 2. But it's still not over. It's just not ending.
Yep.
But yeah, I would be interested in those books, but that's a lot of investment for something that like just kind of it doesn't even end. It just peters off. He's got to at least put out the penultimate book.
I don't think so. He doesn't need to, and he's a smart man. He doesn't want to. Why?
No, see, I think he'll put out the next one because he's been working on it. But the one after that is a hopeless cause.
No. He's never going to put the one he has out. I can guarantee you it's in his will to it never be, or 100 years after his death, then it can be released.
You want to make another bet? Which will come out first? The Winds of Winter or Elder Scrolls 6?
I'll take that. Elder Scrolls 6. It's definitely coming out. All right. So I didn't mean to talk about it that much, but yes.
This is a really cool.
You
cool thing,
have
though.
you have to give me that I did not walk away from CK3 until I went into Game of Thrones.
Yes, that's
they have
really
a Yu-Gi-Oh
cool.
one as well. A Yu-Gi-Oh immersion.
I didn't even know that world was like rich enough for something like that.
Probably not. Duke Nukem Forever too. Yeah, there's a lot of good things in there. And they're
like the
constantly
Tolkien one. I
adding
can believe.
Mm-hmm. Let me think.
But
Let me get a list of the. Let's see. Game. Let's see. CK3 immersion mods. The ultimate immersion mods for CK3. Let's see. No, that isn't what I'm looking for. Those are quality of life mods.
I can't.
I'll have to look it up. But there's a ton.
Many of
there's
them
a
because
there's a Skyrim.
It's
there's
so
a
much
Skyrim
work
as well.
What?
The Skyrim version of Game of Thrones. I mean, Crusader Kings 3.
That's no. You're like combining like the Ghostbusters things that are crossing. They shouldn't cross.
If you have a property that is beloved, people are making full immersion mods on this on Crusader Kings, and Paradox is like, go for it, do it.
You can't take a game and port it into another game and remake the game in the other game.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can.
Is it popular? Does Bethesda know about this? I feel like if Bethesda gets wind of it, they would shut it down.
Probably not. Or they probably do and don't care.
No, they definitely care. They're very
we'll see. I doubt it.
Just don't call it Skyrim. Call it like Skyfall.
Mm-hmm.
Make them think it's a Bond total immersion.
More like a Game of Thrones is called AGOT.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, please make me stop eating. Can we put these fucking away? Dog, take these away. Here, we'll put them back here. There we go. No more.
Throw it to the dogs.
Mia, no, leave it. Don't eat my gummies. don't Coriolis, don't cross the streams.
Yeah.
Sky Oblivion. Yeah, exactly. There's ways around that shit. Anyway, so yeah, you have to give me that I'm allowed to not quite go there because I kind of want to go into this a little bit before I get into Dragon's Dogma.
I'm very curious, like what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to possibly as Eddard landing area, and then I could play as Arya. Deciding who is going to be her guardian and teach her skills.
Oh, so at this point in your story, Daenerys isn't even born yet.
No.
Or maybe she. No, I don't think she is.
They killed all the kids. So it was. Who's her father?
I thought it was like one of the king's people, or maybe the king.
Well, she was definitely one of the kings. She was a yeah. That's a good question. I forget now who her father was. Or maybe they sent her. She was the one. She and her brother were the only ones that were sent away before the war. So that the War of Seven Kings, that was, so they were the only ones that weren't killed because every other Targaryen was killed. Then there
King Aerys II, also known as the Mad King.
Right.
So that's definitely his
Mad
child.
King's son, his daughter.
So then, yeah, she must have gotten sent away. So she's probably alive at this point in your story, just hiding somewhere.
An infant somewhere. Let's see. Where is her
Okay, so
history?
then if you want a historical event, maybe she will grow up and invade Westeros with Stannis as king.
Entirely possible. Entirely possible. So she's the youngest child and the sister wife of Queen Rhaela. Anyway, so yeah, she fled the city with her mother during the war. So she got out. I have to look to see if she's alive, because I can see the Mad King and his children, and I can see if the children are alive or dead. I don't know where I can actually even see where they are, but so God, maybe I should see if I could get Rob betrothed. No, Rob is currently betrothed to his cousin, King Stannis's daughter, but I could possibly see if I could get Bram betrothed to Daenerys. Yeah, Bram's
I'm just looking at this. I'm just looking at this family.
Bram may still die.
tree.
Bram may still die, actually, because that whole thing's going on.
Oh no, he didn't die. He just got injured.
That's true. He could
might-
get
he-
injured.
He
Oh,
might
he met
still
Hodor.
fall off a tree.
I met
Oh,
Hodor.
really?
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, and the mountain is there, and his brother, the Hound, is there, and the character in the game, when you see him, his whole half of his face is black because he's burned.
oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
like half of his hair and half of his face is burnt.
I'm looking at this family tree now. At this point in the history, did the mountain kill the Oberyn's sister?
I don't know.
The
That's a good
Martell?
question.
Could
I
you
don't-
like stop that whole family revenge story?
I probably could, because this is very early on. Because I mean,
wait, do you know what year it is?
I can't.
In
I
the
could
family
look,
tree I'm
but
looking at, it has birth and death years.
I could tell you, but I have to load up my game to see.
Okay.
What year it
Yeah,
is.
don't bother with that.
But it's early on. We'll talk about it afterwards. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and I promise I will get to Dragon's Dogma.
God, now I'm just like, okay, let's go through the Game of Thrones history. What about this person? What about this person? What about this person?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just AC Ray says, just reading about the Mad King, I can tell how much House of Dragon already diverges. Yeah.
Well, House of the
And,
Dragon is like
yeah.
centuries before the Mad King.
Yep. Says, are we talking season 4 of Crusader Kings? Yeah, we are.
No, we're talking season 0 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, this is season 0. And no, they are not CBD, but Mac&Cheese CBD gummies. They're just Mac&Cheese gummies.
I hope they're not, because I had a bunch of them.
I know, me too. And they're selling them at Walmart, so I really hope they're not, for Walmart's sake. All right, so we got so much to talk about. Oh my God, all that sugar is hitting my system now. Oh. Wow, all the sugar is starting to hit home right now. So let's get to the news if we can before my brain explodes.
Before
Is that
the
good?
sugar rush falls off.
Yeah, no, before the sugar rush really takes off. Remember, I have ADHD. Sugar hits me interestingly. Always has.
Mm.
All right, so I forgot to do the intro anyway. All right, let's hit the news. This news commentary oh, holy crap, there's so much to talk about. What?
Okay, talk about that. I should get like a charger and plug my tablet in.
Yeah, you should. Go do that.
Mhm.
All right. So I'll talk about my first item and not make it. You know what? Fuck that. You know, Nick always goes under the fold. Today I'm going to make him go above the fold. I'm going to make him go above the fold today. So here's going above the fold. The FTC versus Microsoft / Xbox Activision trial wrapped up with so much tea spillage. Oh my goodness. A lot of things that were said that were intended to be said, answers to questions, things that, it wasn't like, oops. There was no big oopses but there's also a lot of serious oopses that companies, both Sony and Microsoft, did not intend for you to see. And yet
Yeah, I don't
we
know why
saw
you
them.
meant there's not a lot of big oopses. There were a lot of big oopses.
There was a lot of big oopses, and there was a lot of not non-big oopses. Or I should say a lot of non-oopses. So as far as the non-oopses go, let's start with just like some of the biggest revelations, because I kid you not, that whole thing, it would take us at least a couple of shows to go deep into everything that was revealed that comes as any kind of a revelation. So we're just going to hit the high points. The first one that I'm going to hit is Microsoft revealed why it went into cloud gaming in the first place. Because as you know, cloud gaming is very much a concern of the FTC and the EU. Not so much the Call of Duty, even though Sony made it about Call of Duty. It's really about the cloud gaming and about how Xbox and Game Pass would very much dominate everything, are a market leader and would have a monopoly on it if they had Activision games to back it up. So, Phil Spencer on the stand said that they built cloud gaming not for how it's being used now. They actually intended for cloud gaming to be their big push into the mobile market. His quote is, "We built cloud gaming knowing that on Xbox we have many games that run on console. There are many users around the world that have phones that aren't able to play those games, nor will they be. Our strategy was to put consoles in our data centers to stream those consoles on a mobile phone. So if someone wanted to play Halo on a mobile phone, they could have access to those games through streaming." However, that is not how that ended up being used. It did not really hit in the way they expected, but it did hit in other ways. Xbox VP's Game Center creator, game creator, the VP of Game Creator Experience, woman named Sarah Bond, she testified the most common use of Xbox streaming, the xCloud, is not for mobile, but used by console players while they're waiting for other games to load.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, or to try out a game before they buy it. So it's essentially becoming a demo opportunity to demo the game without buying the game itself, or to start playing the game while the game is downloading in the background.
Which makes sense because, and I think Spencer mentioned this when he was talking. It's hard to have those kind of games on a phone because they're not designed for a phone. You need a controller, and the controller situation with phones never really got figured out. Like you could put the backbone on it, like Chris did. You could like get Bluetooth into it, which both the modern controllers can do. But even then, everything is smaller. Like some games have font that's really small on my giant 4K TV. You try to put that on a phone, and it becomes impossible to read.
Right. Well, they had the same thing with Kerbal in the early years, is that they took a PC game that was meant to be seen from this size, from this far away, for a computer screen, and then they put it on a television across the room, and nobody could read the font.
Yeah. Like it's hard
and
to
the
just
screen got
port
totally cluttered. That's why Kerbal on console just
platform.
never was great. Yep. So another big revelation was Bobby Kotick took the stand, and we just love Bobby Kotick, don't we? So Bobby admitted a mistake. The great Kotick was not perfect. He said that it was a very big mistake on their part to not have put Call of Duty on Switch. He said he saw the Switch, he looked at it, he really didn't take it seriously, and he called that a bad judgment. I made a bad judgment. When I had seen the prototype of the Switch, it was different than what I saw the prototype of the Wii. I thought the Wii was the most extraordinary video game system ever created. When I saw the prototypes for the Switch, I was concerned because they were trying to accomplish a lot with a console that also had a portable capability. I didn't think it was going to be wildly successful. It's probably the second most successful video game system of all time, so it was a bad decision on my part. And also revealed by Bobby Kotick, and by the way, he's right, absolutely right. Call of Duty should have been on Switch.
I wonder how they would have done it. They would have done it the way that Resident Evil works, where they basically take the high-end console version and stream it to a Switch, or would they do the classic thing from a couple of generations ago where they make an entirely different game for the Switch?
Right. I don't know. They I don't think they even know. They just Bobby looked at the prototype and said, "Yeah, not for me," and never even.
Well, they must be talking about it because Microsoft said, "Hey, we're going to put Call of Duty on Switch," so they must be figuring out how to do that, or they must have some idea of how.
They have some idea, but they didn't reveal that. Speaking of Call of Duty, something else that was revealed by Bobby was that Bobby leveraged against Microsoft lower cuts of the sales volume, or the kickback for the sales, to put it on Xbox because of the power of Call of Duty. He did that in 2020. Microsoft was determined to ensure that Call of Duty would stay on Xbox. And Kotick said, well, we could go to PlayStation exclusively, or you could give us you could, reduce your rates of what you're going to take from us. And they leveraged that power, essentially wielded that exclusivity, that stick against Microsoft in order to give them a deal. And they did. Normally they take 30% for developers. For Call of Duty, they took 20%.
Yeah, which is worth saying. The 80-20 split was an oopsie by one of the FTC lawyers.
Yeah, FTC
that
lawyer
wasn't
said,
in any document. He kind of let it slip.
Yeah, he let it slip. Like the fact that Kotick said that they had leveraged a better deal. It was one of the FTC lawyers that let it slip that it was 20-80 instead of 70-30.
Which is like one of the few things in this whole case that actually works to the FTC's point of like, oh, look, both these consoles really need Call of Duty, and having that publisher pretty successfully leverage the threat of not having it against one console for a better rate, like supports the point in a way that not much else in the whole hearing did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So also, staying on with Kotick, when you talk about, the leveraging and how Microsoft really, 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 really didn't want Call of Duty to leave their console, there's a very good reason why they let that go to 20%. We actually found out, nope. Where is it? Sony mistakenly, actually, we'll start with all of the Sony. Well, this is the first of many Sony mistakenly. Here's the Sony mistakenly section. Sony mistakenly, because they stupidly decided to redact a bunch of their documents using a Sharpie, and everybody could see through it. So everybody could read behind what was actually being redacted. Anyway, Sony very mistakenly revealed how much time PlayStation owners play Call of Duty games and also how much it is worth to them. And it is, I knew it was a lot. I just didn't know it was that much. According to The Verge, the documents revealed, and this is like I said, so they could read it through the redaction. The documents revealed that more than 14 million users spent 30% of their time or more playing Call of Duty in 2021.
Which I'll say that's entirely fair because Sony does like a year-end look back at your gaming history. Last year, when they did that, a solid 40% of, no, even more than that, a massive, massive chunk of all the time I played on PlayStation was Elden Ring.
Right.
So I totally understand like 30% being played by one game.
Right. More than 6 million players spent 70% of their time on Call of Duty.
That's dedicated for sure.
And an eye-watering 1 million PlayStation users played nothing but Call of Duty in 2021, 100% of their time.
That blows my mind.
That blows my mind.
I think those people are probably, maybe they are someone that plays every day, but like they're probably just they are a casual gamer. Their just casual game of choice happens to be Call of Duty instead of Candy Crush.
I
don't think
that or
someone's
it's
playing...
exactly the opposite. It's like you've got your group of friends. This is your group of friends. You play every single day, and you murder everybody on the screen, and that's your thing.
And it could definitely be like a group thing of, hey, this is the game I play with friends, and so that's why I only play it. But I can't imagine that person is someone who plays for like 4 to 5 hours a day and only plays that game, because even streamers move on to a different game every now and then.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see that. It's probably a mixture. It's probably a mixture.
Either way, that's crazy. I just can't imagine playing one game only.
I would think it would have been like, a very small amount, but not like 1 million players. Nothing but Call of Duty.
I guess, what is that percentage-wise? Do you know?
100%. Oh, percentage-wise?
No. Yeah, 1 million.
They said 14 million do play 30% of their time on PlayStation. 6 million play 70%, and 1 million play 100%. I don't know what it would be percentage-wise because they didn't go anything in between. I'd have to get the document.
Yeah, AC Wraith has a good point. Is how many hours were spent? The less you play, the more the game seems to count in these stats.
Right. I think I saw it somewhere. It was revealed. I just didn't write it down. But yeah, the amount of time was also mind-boggling of how many hours that was. Now, also revealed in that same badly redacted paper, Sony mistakenly revealed how much Call of Duty is worth to them money-wise. According to these same filings, Call of Duty was worth more than $800 million for PlayStation. That's what PlayStation made in 2021. That's just in the United States. When you factor in the global audience, for Call of Duty, just beyond the United States, it goes to $1.5 billion. Call of Duty players spent on accessories, hardware, subscription, games, and PlayStation services, 15.9 billion in 2021.
Wait, no, it's got to be 1.5. It's not 15.
That's what I have here, $15.9 billion if you think about accessories, hardware, subscriptions, games, and PlayStation services.
No, that's a typo. There's a dot in there. There's a dot in there.
The dot is
I
in.
read enough. I know that it was $1 billion. It's
All right,
not
look it up.
15.
This is what I was reading. I pulled this out of VG 24/7, so they tend to be pretty good about this. So we'll see. It could
not
easily be
15.
because I will say that in this article there was some very odd formatting that and some typos that made me think that maybe somebody hadn't probably copyrighted it or copy edited it. So double check that. But according to VG 24/7,
1.5.
it is 1.5. He
Mhm.
wrote 15.9. Sorry, $1.5 billion.
Okay,
No,
so-
$1.5 billion
wait.
for the global audience for the game. But when you add the accessories, hardware, subscriptions, games, and PlayStation services to that, it comes out to $15.9 billion.
Wait, how does this math work? The big one is that Call of Duty is worth $800 million to Sony in the US alone, with a global price of $1.5 billion. Bundle this with Call of Duty players spending on PlayStation hardware and subscriptions, it could be worth $15.9 billion a year. How do you get from 1.5 to 16? 16 billion. That's a massive jump.
I don't know.
It's an exponential jump.
Yeah. Okay, so it was 15.9 million.
Yeah, I'm questioning that math. I don't know where that number comes from.
Accessories, hardware, subscriptions, games, and PlayStation services. I'm wondering.
So if you have a billion users paying for the game and buying PlayStation because of it, if the console is that expensive, that's where your secondary revenue is coming from.
Okay, yeah, I guess if you count,
that's hardware.
Yeah,
then you've got the
all
subscriptions,
those
the
players
subscriptions
buying
to
$5
right, and the PlayStation services, which I would imagine mean like the PlayStation Plus or the different levels of PlayStation subscription services. And the games, which they get that 20% cut. That's a lot of money. So this is why Bobby Kotick can wield a very large club and make these console makers just do what he wants them to do.
I'm gonna say, I get where they're coming from by saying like, oh, if all of these gamers also bought a PlayStation, we're gonna factor that into the total cost benefit to Sony. But I also feel like this math was probably done by the FTC or Sony in order to like, hey, look at how big Call of Duty is. I feel like I think these numbers are puffed up.
I go to the Verge. Go look at the Verge, and I'm sure those documents are out there.
No, I'm saying this is the number in those documents. I think they puffed up the number for those documents.
Possibly.
Which is not to say that it's a fake number. It's just, oh, if we add in this,
adjusted.
Hey, you know what? Call of Duty is a multiplayer game. Let's assume that everyone buys a second controller.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a very easy way to puff that number up. I would be very surprised if Sony is making $16 billion a year off of Call of Duty. Because if that was actually true, Jim Ryan would not say, yeah, it's fine if it goes exclusive. He would not send that email.
That's true.
Because that is way too much money to just give up.
That's absolutely
He was way
true.
too flippant about exclusivity.
Well, I don't think
if it was actually worth that much money.
Okay. Yeah, possibly.
That's my personal opinion. That's my commentary.
Now, if you think that Sony was the only one who mistakenly revealed things, Microsoft also mistakenly revealed things. Microsoft mistakenly revealed it considered acquiring a ton of studios besides ZeniMax, Bethesda, and Activision. There were a lot of things on the plate, including some of the ones that we talked about, like Square Enix.
And what was interesting too is in their little table, they have like, this is what the studio can bring to us. This is a con though. I think they mentioned with Bungie, like, oh, knowledge about live service games, but they have a very high burn rate. Like people leave that studio a lot. They looked at uh
God, I wish I could
developer
find
of
that
Hades, the
graph.
Supergiant Games. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, this person makes, high quality indie games. Con, they might want to remain independent.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find that chart. Let me see. No, that's the chart of the first party studios. I wish I could find it. But here's some of the
Let's see. I'll
studios that
look
they were
forward to it.
considering. They had a full consideration set. Is this where can I get it here? Yeah, looks like I might be able to find it here. The full consideration set. Oh, yes. Twitter. Oh, Twitter. Let's not forget, we can't load anything on Twitter anymore because we're all limited to looking at 300 tweets a day now at this point. I am because, 600. So 600 tweets a day. Even though I haven't opened Twitter today, apparently I've hit my 600 tweets. Here's some of them. Studios on the list were Frostpunk's 11-bit Studios, Silent Hills 2 Bloober Team, Cyberpunk 2077 CG Product Red, Warframe's Digital Extremes, Elden Ring's From Software, Hitman's IO Interactive, Ukulele's Platonic Games, Hades Supergiant Games, Dying Light's Techland, Blade Runner 23 Labyrinths, and Aperna Interactive. Those are just some of them. They were looking at a lot of different studios.
It's interesting they were considering Annapurna because I guess Activision's also a publisher.
Yeah,
but
let's see if I
Activision
can
develops games too.
Xbox consideration set. They considered buying Bungie. They considered buying Housemarque. Continue site. Let's see. Internal Microsoft presentation. Please don't be. Nope. Server not found. Great. Yeah, I saw it earlier today, and then I didn't make a link for it. But yeah, it was a huge, huge list. And they did not they intended to redact that page. And oopsie, forgot to redact it. Which I don't know what's worse. Forgetting to redact something and letting it go, or redacting it so poorly that everybody can read through it. I think the second, but be that as it may. Still makes for very, very good tea spillage. Next thing that we learned was how much single player games are cost. And this was a Sony mistakenly reveals moment. Sony mistakenly revealed they had 2 games. I mentioned 2 games and the cost of the single player AAA titles. And you could read through them through the redaction what games they were. We learned that what the budgets of Last of Us Part 2 and Horizon Forbidden West were. So, Last of Us 2 cost $222 million to develop. And Horizon Forbidden West development was 212 million. Those numbers don't include marketing related expenses, which would probably make them even more expensive.
Yeah,
because that's a huge part of a game's budget is their advertising.
Yeah, like generally with movies, when you see a movie's budget, like the quick math is, it has to do twice that to be profitable because they assume they spent the same in marketing.
And the budgets in general are on par, generally expected to be on par with what it costs for a movie. So we're talking like $700 million.
Which surprised me because at least recently, I thought it would cost more to make a game like Last of Us because it takes so much longer to make. I think they even said in that document that it costs like, 220 million over 4 or 5 years. So I assumed that length, a movie costs $200 to make, but they film it in a year.
Right.
And even post-production and pre-production is like, I don't know, maybe it's 18 months. 5 years is a huge, like you have to pay people's salaries 5 times.
Right.
But then when you look, they also mentioned the headcount. and the head count is like Last of Us was 200 people or something. So 200 people over 5 years, 220 million. It's like, okay, big budget movies have way more than 200 people working on them.
Right.
But it is just kind of interesting to note that these are like the highest of high budgeted games. Last of Us and Horizon.
Some of the most expensive games to make, the single player long narrative
Yes.
RPGs.
Yeah, like this, I assume God of War is probably similar. GTA 6 probably cost even more. But yeah, this is the super high end.
Right. And
it also explains
points out why companies are so eager to embrace these microtransactions and why they really insist on having them. Because if you think if it's on par with movies and the game cost $220 million to make, you figure it's an additional 660 million. No, 440 million to do the advertising. So we're looking at a total budget, in the realm of $650 million. All of a sudden, you begin to see that, God, they're selling them at $60 a piece, and not even all of them get sold at $60 a piece. A lot of them get sold on sale because people hold off until sales.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why they're pushing. I mean, I knew that's why they were pushing, but it's not entirely greed. It's also, God, they might, if they don't make a budget, like if they fail, that's a lot of money to fail. That is a bad, and every single game like that is a make or break for a lot of these developers.
I forget if it was someone in this case or if it was someone outside of it, but they were kind of pointing out that, look at how much it costs to make, and saying that the cost to make a game generally doubles with each new generation. Whatever generation comes next, that's unsustainable.
Yeah. It is unsustainable at that point. Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned consoles. So Xbox revealed that they're probably not going to be seeing another generation, the next generation. I should say we will be seeing the next generation. They're looking at 2028 for the next arrival of the next Xbox console. Which seems really soon. It's hard to, it's kind of weird to think that the current console generation is 3 years old already.
See, I don't know.
It doesn't feel like that.
That actually seems like an okay number.
It seems like an okay
is like 5 years away after we've already had the consoles for like 3 years.
Yeah, but here's the yeah, but you and I have had the consoles for 3 years. A lot of people haven't had the consoles that long because they couldn't get one, especially when it comes to the PlayStation. So it's, this was the first year that we didn't have an issue with supply. So a lot of people didn't get consoles until just recently. So they were already lost 3 years in the console. So they're looking at the next console coming out in 5.
I mean, it's already that's still 5 years away.
It seems really, I think that the sustainability issue with next generation titles isn't going to be controlled by the titles themselves. It's going to have to be controlled by, you can't keep popping out a new console every 8 years when it takes you 3 years to actually be able to get enough of them on the shelves that everybody can get one who wants one.
I mean, that was kind of a unique situation, but also
unique situation this time. It's going to be this. That's not just a unique situation. This is a situation that is going to be from here on out. There's a very big difference. One of them was because scalpers are going to be doing exactly the same thing in the next generation. Exactly the same thing, but more and worse.
But the shortage wasn't because of scalpers.
Scalpers had a lot to do with it.
No, they didn't. Like, they played a part, but it was the pandemic and everything that actually affected how much they could produce.
We'll see. We'll see in 5 years how much it actually affects. I think that the pandemic, yeah, there was a chip shortage, and the pandemic.
I think that's
But I
way
also
more
think
impactful than scalpers.
I also think that the scalpers played a very large role, way
I
larger
don't
role than a way larger role than a lot of retailers and the console makers themselves want to admit, because it's
Yeah.
they're failing to protect the consumer, and they don't want that really. They don't want to take that L. They would rather hand that L to the pandemic. Oh, it's the
Yeah,
pandemic.
that's way bigger than I would
It's
expect.
like the reason why I haven't I
don't
haven't
expect
turned
that.
in my taxes yet for 2021. Yeah. No, for 2022. It's the reason why I haven't turned in my tax for 2022. Oh, I the storms. No, it just gave me a reason to be lazy and not turn it in yet. So, I hope nobody from the IRS is listening. Another big revelation, also interestingly, that kind of goes hand in hand with this one. Next console, arriving 2028. Next Elder Scrolls, not releasing until about 2028. Because we heard about Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 right about the same time. So there was like this thinking that maybe they were showing up at about the same time. And no. Not even
No, I
close.
never.
They were both
thought
announced
that.
in the same showcase in 2018.
They were, but I think
There was
Elder Scrolls
a
6
thought that it
it
might
was-
have been in production at that point, like like at least equivalent states of development, or even near states of development, but they weren't even close.
I think at that time, if I remember, like people knew Bethesda was working on Starfield, but there was a lot of like, oh, what are they doing next? What are they doing next? A lot of rumors like, what are they doing next? And I think they came out and just said, yeah, it's Elder Scrolls 6, to just kind of shut everybody up. Not because there was any plan for it, but to just say, look, this is what we're doing next.
Yeah.
Shut up. Stop speculating.
Alone.
Yeah, leave us alone. Let us finish this other game first.
Yeah. Phil Spencer said, I think we've been a little unclear on what platforms it will launch on, given how far out the game is. It's difficult for us to right now to nail down exactly what platforms that game will launch on. As I said, with Elder Scrolls 6, it's so far out, it's hard to understand what platforms will even be at this point.
And what's
also
funny
indicating
is, like,
maybe that it's coming. They're holding it for the next console. Not holding it, but that's what they're aiming for.
Yeah, they're not holding it, but he's not lying. But also, look, if you had the option to launch the next Xbox with Elder Scrolls as an exclusive, he's absolutely going to do that.
Freaking buying it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it.
He would do
Corey
that.
Wallace is gonna buy it.
And there's
Corey Wallace will go to Xbox.
He would do it. And so he's not necessarily lying when he says, like, oh, it's too far out, we can't think about it. But when you actually think about it, you know the answer.
Yeah.
By the way, I will say, at the very least, they would make it like a timed exclusivity, right? The first year, it's exclusive to Xbox, then it would come to PlayStation. That way, they brought Skyrim to everything eventually.
Right.
I could see them bringing Elder Scrolls 6 to everything eventually. Eventually being the operative word.
Yeah. The chat room does not agree with you on the whole scalper thing. Let's see what we got here. Blood Reaper, who almost always agrees with you, says if they do release a new console, they need to do one person per account for the first 2 years. Chenderbox says it was a combination of factors. Hershey Health says, I think scalpers would have scalped more, way more, if the shortage wasn't so short. Agreed. I think the only thing that limited scalpers this time was the fact there wasn't enough PlayStations for them to buy up. They would have bought all of them if they did. They bought all the ones they could get their hands on.
They wouldn't, but like, yes, I think they would have been worse because it will always be a percentage. And if you make more, then that percentage goes up because that's how math works.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that percentage would have gone up.
Yeah.
There,
I think
there's a
I
there's
think
a
I think that scalpers got I'm guessing 80 to 85% of all the consoles released last time. I think that that's how much scalpers got.
no,
I think that
no,
it will have that or more next time. The
no.
only reason why they didn't get them all is because there were so few of them. So, Elder Scrolls, Elder Scrolls launching between 2026 to 2028. Yep, I'm calling it right now. It is going to be a console exclusive for the Xbox, on the next Xbox. So I guess that would be the Xbox Y, Series Y. Oh, I could have a Series Y car and a Series Y console. Let's see. If it comes to PlayStation, I will get Elder Scrolls 6. Yeah. But so you wouldn't get an Xbox to get Elder Scrolls 6. AC Ray says, I just want a better third person interface, so it's worth my time.
Okay. Wait, no, keep going. I got a story. I have numbers.
All right. You have numbers. All right, and then I will continue to go. What else have I got? Here's another one that was another revelation. There was a point in time, shortly after Xbox bought Bethesda and ZeniMax, that Phil Spencer said flat out that everything that comes out of Bethesda would be Xbox exclusive. That's what he wanted, not just new IP, all of them. So, in November 2021, there was a meeting that had Microsoft, the CEO, Phil Spencer, the Xbox CEO, Phil Spencer. He came out with the big decision to make all ZeniMax games Xbox exclusive. And this was revealed by this Xbox's CFO, Tim Stewart. And the attention was brought to a chat conversation between him and Xbox Game Studios' Matt Booty. And the conversation was about a recent monthly business review meeting between Xbox and ZeniMax. And during the meeting, that's when Phil Spencer said he wanted to make all ZeniMax games exclusive going forward, not just the new IPs. The chat went like this. All games going forward, Stewart asked, not just new IP, but all games going forward, capitalized, all. Wow. Booty confirmed the intention during that chat conversation. Phil Spencer told them all titles going forward Xbox exclusive. That was his reply. So, obviously, they're singing a different tune now, because I think at that point they thought the biggest thing they were going to get their hands on was Bethesda. And then then Activision fucked up.
They said that because there were no regulators looking at it. So that's like, oh yeah, make it all exclusive.
They never considered that there would be this would all be in front of an FTC trying to decide if they were going to be able to buy Activision. I think that those are words that they never considered being put together in one sentence back then.
Those are their honest opinions.
Those are their honest opinions. Yep. That's what they really want to do.
That's what they actually want to do with Activision, but God, all
they
the
can't.
Pain in the ass regulators are just getting in the way, and they're getting on our case about Call of Duty.
It shouldn't be a surprise. Companies want a monopoly.
Oh yeah,
they all want monopolies. If they don't, then they're not doing company right.
Which, like, in theory, should go to the FTC's point, but I don't think they hit on the proper notes to make that point really strong. You can see, words said throughout the case make their case really well, but they didn't hammer on those
capitalize
points.
them.
They just kind of glossed over them.
Right.
But okay. This is an article from February 1st, 2001. So this is about 4 months after the new consoles came out, because I think the new consoles came out in like October, November of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
This was from an analysis posted to Dev Community by Michael Driscoll. It's now known that between both the PS5 standard and digital editions, close to 10% of the console's total sales have been resold by scalpers. While not all of these sales have been officially confirmed, around 7% of the PS5 sales can be confirmed on eBay and StockX as recent as January 16th. Another 3 to 5% of sales have been estimated to have taken place on OfferUp. So
Yeah. You're
what
talking about
analysis there
sales. That's
is-
not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sales to the scalpers or sales by the scalpers. You're talking
By
about
the
sales
scalpers.
by the scalpers. I'm talking about sales to the scalpers. If you
So
have
you're
a
saying they
thousand,
bought
if you have
80% of the
1,000
stock,
units,
but only
they-
sold 10% of it?
yeah,
That's a
because they were
then
selling it at $2,000, $1,500, $2,000 a piece. Not everybody had $1,500 to $2,000 a piece. So a lot of people that wanted an Xbox didn't get an Xbox or a PlayStation. Didn't get a PlayStation. It's not that those people went back to Sony to get it. It's that they didn't get one at all. They bought one 3 years later. And that's what I'm saying about the console generation
I
started
think
this
you're
year.
arguing against the numbers.
No, you're bringing up, you're comparing apples and oranges. I'm saying 80%, at least 80%, in my estimation, of consoles of PlayStation's consoles were purchased by scalpers, and they were held by scalpers in warehouses over the next 2 years, selling them at inflated prices. And the people that wanted them at the normal price had to wait for 3 years to get one. That's what I'm saying.
See, you're arguing a number that's impossible to measure, right? Which is kind of convenient. You can't measure how much stock a theoretical scalper is holding on to.
You know, it's not even it's how much stock. You could just look. You could see the walls of them that they had. The walls of them. Pictures that
There
they
was
were
a
flashing
supply
around.
shortage. And it wasn't just because of scalpers.
I'm not saying that there was a supply. No, I'm saying there was a supply shortage, and it was exacerbated immeasurably by scalpers who got, I would venture to guess, 80% of the limited supply that were out there. And that's why it took 3 years for them to clear that backlog of people who wanted PlayStations but couldn't get one.
I don't.
I
think
will
your
die
number is
on that
wildly
sword.
overly inflated.
I will die on that sword.
The
You are
article I saw, 10 to
you are
15%.
Xboxing the shit out of those numbers right now.
It's 10
You
to 15%,
are
not
picking
80.
and choosing, and you are quoting stuff that is not what I'm quoting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, Stacey Wraith has the link in the chat.
All right. Yes. Well, I will go through that. But the number you just quoted is not the number that I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I'm saying
Anyway.
your number is impossible to measure.
I'm sure somebody has measured it. Corey Wallace says, if you guys are so obsessed with playing Elder Scrolls and can't wait the 40 years it's going to take to make the Elder Scrolls 6, just come back to ESO. You know you wanna swallow the red pill, eat the gummies. No, I stopped eating the gummies, and Nick had to put the gummies across the other side of the room to stop himself from eating them. Drink the purple Kool-Aid, man.
Other side of the table.
All right. So while Nick adjusts his camera and his internet goes haywire because of it, I will move on to the next item. Speaking of console exclusivity, by the way, we're still on that one item we need to talk about this week. Not everybody loves the game exclusivity that that Phil Spencer suggested.
Why is this not keeping it up as well?
I don't know, Nick.
Be stable. Now it's not stable.
Okay. Well, it's a lovely picture of your tummy. Thank you. So yeah, not all everybody at Xbox loves, or even Microsoft loves the game exclusivity. In fact, Microsoft CEO. So this is Xbox's boss. This is Phil Spencer's boss, Satya Nadella.
Okay, I don't know how you can do. So you're gonna look at my nose now. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Nadella weighed in on the subject of console exclusivity. Oh no, what's going on? All I can see is your hand now. Every time you move it, it freezes the screen, right? So,
Okay.
he says, I have no love for that word, for that world, he said. He also argued that Microsoft is the least responsible for the prevalence out of all the console manufacturers because it has a much smaller share than Sony or Nintendo. So he's kind of playing victim, but he's also saying he's not crazy about that.
Yeah, no, everything that guy says is bullshit. Everything that he said.
How do you know if when Satya Nadella is lying because his lips are moving?
Yes. His whole like thing was, oh my God, I hate exclusivity so much. If it was up to me, we wouldn't be doing it all. But you know what? Sony, they have exclusives and they're just forcing us to spend $80 billion buying exclusives. I wish we didn't have to do this. And if it was up to me, we wouldn't be doing this. But Sony forced our hand. I'm sorry, FTC. Sony forced our hand.
You do that so well.
His whole premise of everything he said was just so dumb. Granted, like I would expect nothing less from the CEO of Microsoft in a court case about like $1 billion merger. I'd expect nothing less.
Right.
Just like no one should be taking him at his word.
Right. Let's see. Next thing on the list is documents revealed what Microsoft's long-term ambitions are, which is beyond what Xbox, what the Microsoft, the company's ambitions are. So the FTC managed to get a hold of documents of Satya Nadella's and Satya Nadella's, and he sent it to a bunch of top executives and fellow board members that laid out what the goals were of the company for the next decade as far as profits, and it's a lot. So Nadella is aiming for Microsoft to generate $500 billion by the end of 2030 fiscal year. So we're talking 7 fiscal years. So that's a lot. And at least a 10% per year over year revenue growth. Remember I talking about 20% year over year revenue growth? And those are the things that murder companies.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah. So one document said that Microsoft's security, compliance, identity and management business could reach $100 billion in revenue by 2030. And they also want their Teams communication app to reach 1 billion monthly active users by then as well. And anybody who's used Teams, I mean, don't get me wrong, Teams is really cool in some ways, but it's not going to beat Zoom. It's just not. It's not going to beat Zoom. Period. The end. It's just not.
See, I haven't used Zoom that much. Like we use Teams at work, but I've never used Slack. Never really used Zoom. So I never used Slack. Teams seems fine.
Teams, yeah. I resisted Teams at Vituity until I started using it, and then I really, really liked it. But I thought of it as being only one type of communication. Like there's a communication hierarchy. If shit's going down and it needs somebody's attention right now, you call them. If you kind of need an answer right now, but you don't like, it's something, a quick question you could ask and get the answer back, Teams. If it's a long, complicated question that is going to need a lot of research or is like a situation that you want to document, you use email. And that's how we used it at work or at Vituity. Now, my new company, everybody hates Teams, hates it with white hot heat of a
Really?
thousand suns. And I'm trying to convince them that they're like, oh no, we like Zoom. I'm like, no. Don't use it instead of Zoom. You use it instead of email. Just to ask a quick question all the time. Like
You use
I'm
the chat
always on Teams.
function.
The chat function, mwah, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Everything else, meh. Not that great. Other things do it better and will. But okay, so next thing was another interesting thing on a lot of different levels is that we learned that Activision actually played a significant role in hardware development and testing for the PlayStation consoles in the past. And if this deal went through, that of course Sony would cut its development work with Activision for their early prototypes. So Sony confirmed that they intend to keep Activision out of the PlayStation 6 development loop if they manage to acquire them, if Xbox manages to acquire them. Jim Ryan said as much to the FTC, arguing that Sony couldn't take the risk of handing future hardware to a company owned by their fiercest rival. So
makes sense.
And that doesn't make any surprise, but it is a little bit of a surprise to learn that Activision helped Sony with their PlayStation hardware development in the past.
Yeah.
They didn't get into specifics of what they did as far as their collaboration. That was redacted out of Jim Ryan's statement, and unfortunately, properly, they didn't use a Sharpie that time. But yes, they were actively they used the word collaboration with Activision in helping them develop the hardware for previous PlayStations.
Fucking Bobby Kotick's in bed with everybody.
When that man is bringing that much to the table, yeah, they are. They're probably paying Activision to be in collaboration with them, because they want to make sure that their console is the best one for playing Call of Duty. And the way to do that is making sure that the company that makes Call of Duty is in not only just working with you, but hand in hand, paid collaboration to ensure that their hardware works best with their software. Darn right, you pay them money. So, also, if you think if you think Microsoft and Sony were the only, and the FTC lawyers were the only ones to leak stuff they didn't intend to leak, oh, you would be wrong. And this, my friend, this is why most companies that are in lawsuits with other companies, this is why they settle, because this is the shit that happens in court cases when you have documents and people saying things, because everybody fucks up, including the judge. The judge himself leaked that the Call of Duty's release date is going to be November 10th this year.
No.
So yeah, the presiding judge spilled the beans. Also spilled that it is going to be an extension of Modern War. So to say, it's going to be going to be a Modern Warfare 3 or an extension of Modern Warfare 2 for all intents and purposes.
Makes sense.
And that it's going to be bringing over maps and modes from the current game. At least that's what it is right now. I'm sure that's subject to change. But yeah, so yeah, that's
grand scheme of things, not the worst of the leaks, but still.
Everyone leaked. Pales in comparison to the other shit that went down. But also, case in point, why if you ever, like, all those moments of like, oh God, they're gonna go to, I can't wait to see what happens when they, and then how many, I remember there was one of them that you were pissed. that they settled.
The Vince Zampella and the
Oh,
original Call of Duty
yeah,
creators
yeah,
leaving Activision.
yeah.
Like they were
Oh,
fired and
yeah.
like they sued for wrongful termination.
Whoop,
Settled.
losing you. Okay, maybe
Cowards.
we have you back. Yeah, yeah. I know you're pissed about that. And
So,
now you know why companies like Activision will pay more money to make sure
yeah.
it never goes to trial because people are human and shit goes wrong and things are mistaken, especially the more amount of documents you have, the larger chance that you have of things going wrong. What was the big court case? Oh, Alex Jones, where the attorney sent the entire file of all of his texts. And then the attorney that received it said, "Are you sure you want to send that us? You might want to redo that link." And they didn't
Yeah.
respond. They waited 30 days, which was what they needed to do, and then it became open warfare. This is what happens during court cases. People are human. Lawyers are human. They make mistakes. Even judges.
That one feels.
Uh-oh. We're losing you.
That one feels like a to me. Oops.
It feels like a what?
Yeah, you're kind of cutting out. Too.
No, you're cutting out. You're the one that's cutting out, not me.
That once felt like. No.
Are you still there? Have we lost you completely? Oh, I'm okay. The slideshow has started. Okay, we have you back.
Oh, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right, you're still a little slideshowy. Yeah, full on slideshow right now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I was just saying that I thought the Alex Jones case was more conspiratorial. That guy wanted to leak that stuff and just made it look like an accident.
I think so too. So anyway, okay, so that was just skimming the surface of the top tier tea that got spilt in this case. If you want more, I would say go to Twitter with the live tweeting, but you can't because Elon Musk broke fucking Twitter. If you're not aware, Elon Musk made an announcement that is limiting everyone's access to viewing their Twitter, to viewing tweets. You are limited to 600 tweets if you're verified, 300 tweets if you're unverified, or if you're, sorry, 600, I think it's 300 tweets. If you are like blue checked, you get 600. If you're not blue checked, you are 300. And if you are, but verified, but if you're an unverified account, you get 200. And I haven't looked at Twitter in probably a week at least. And I guess I have Twitter up on one of my, like, a tab somewhere. So now I can't even go to Twitter. It's showing I'm out of Twitter bandwidth. So I would say go to Twitter and look at the Twitter feed, but you probably can't at this point. All right, Nick. Go. You can go. I'm gonna go get some. Wait, are you frozen or are you done? Nick? Yeah, you're out. He's gone. Okay, you're back.
Can you hear me? You're cutting in and out for me.
No, yeah, I'm cutting in and out because you're cutting in and out.
Am I?
It's
okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 90% of it. I mean, I'm sure that the chat room can confirm
my connection.
Your connection, I believe. And it sucks because I really want to go get a glass of water. Oh, that, by the way, that thing about getting around the new rule by using TweetDeck doesn't work. Doesn't work as of this afternoon. The Twitter has shut that down as well. If that was the how to get around the new rule. All right, so Nick is slide showing. You might want to restart, I think, maybe, if possible, or maybe one of your people in the room next door started streaming. Yeah, he goes, yeah, the connection is cutting in and out, he says. All right, so Nick will probably have to hold on to your stuff for next week because I don't think you'll be able to get through all of that.
I can restart.
I don't know that
For you?
that's going to help it. I think it's because what time is it? It's 4:30. Yeah, it's because people have
I don't
checked in
think
and their
so. If
kids are
that's all it
watching.
is. One YouTube video.
No,
I
it's
can
because everybody's
restart.
checked in with
I can
kids
leave the
is now
studio and come back.
is now streaming YouTube. It's all the porn, Nick. It's a hotel.
That could be.
It's a hotel in Gilroy. You know it's porn.
Oh, okay.
All right, you seem to be back now. Whatever you
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
can
Edie
help.
says it's all the porn people are downloading.
It's 4:30. It's right
Oh,
before
okay.
dinner.
Everyone's filling in.
Yeah. Everyone checks in at 4:30 and immediately starts downloading porn.
You know, are you so you're using the company's or the hotel's Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Okay, so have you thought? Do you have 5G on your phone right now?
I don't know if I have 5G, but I could possibly use it as a hotspot. I saw that has an
That's
option
what I'm
in the settings
thinking.
menu.
Depends how many
Okay.
bars you have in your phone, and are you using 5G?
No, I don't have 5G, and I have one bar on my phone.
Then don't. No. Nope.
Wait. I had 2 bars a second ago.
Yeah, no, it's not
Now I've
even.
got 2 bars.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Okay, so hit whatever is you think is the best one that you want to hit, assuming that you're
Oh.
not going to be able to do this for very much longer.
Awkward.
Nick?
Oh, wait, hang on.
Nick?
Yeah.
Hit whatever you uh-oh. Never work with children and animals. Okay. Well, then let me go to my next item. My next item is remember Gollum? Lord of the Rings Gollum, that miserable nightmare of a game. It was such a nightmare. It has essentially inspired Daedalic. It's either Daedalic or Daedalic. I call it Daedalic. The company that was the developer to leave game development. Now Daedalic is going to stay doing game publishing, but they are no longer doing game development. And in fact, they had it, at least was said, that they were working on another Lord of the Rings game, even after what happened with Gollum. If you are aware at all, I believe it's like a 3 point something on Metacritic from just the critics, and it's like a 1.1 from user ratings. It is one of the worst games rated on Metacritic ever, and it is the worst game rated on Metacritic released on the PlayStation. So it is absolutely unplayably bad, and it wasn't just a case of it being bad buggy. It was just a bad game that was horribly buggy in addition to it being a bad game. So anyway, Daedalic Entertainment this week announced it's closing its development studio. It's going to shift all of its focus over to its publishing arm. And the news of the restructuring was first reported by a German games industry website called Gameswirtschaft. Wirtschaft. Anyway, and the article did state that the Hamburg development studio where Daedalic is from, it would be closed. But about 20 out of the 90 employees that work for the company would be affected, meaning fired or lose their jobs or otherwise repurposed. Daedalic did say that it's going to support its former employees to find new opportunities within its network if they can, and obviously if they can't, then sorry you made such a shitty game. So as part of the restructuring, the Lord of the Rings game that they were working on has been canceled, which was in the works since mid last year. It was slated for release at end of 2024, but the release of Gollum obviously put the kibosh on that one. Its code name was It's Magic. So I I'm never happy to see a studio go under. It because ultimately what a studio going under means is that people, individual workers, coders, testers, graphics people, sound guys, whatever, they're losing their jobs. I never really enjoy watching that happen. But when a company makes a game, releases a game that bad on so many levels, it doesn't surprise me. And honestly, the fact that there was another Lord of the Rings game coming after that, kind of that nobody like rethought that beforehand. I'm not I'm sad that people are losing their jobs. It does not surprise me in the least. There she is here. Are we back? Oh, I'm sorry, I hadn't scrolled down. Supposedly they made some good adventure games. I own some, but have yet to play them. I don't know if I've played any. I must have played a Daedalic game because I know. Well, maybe it might have been a Daedalic published game, but not Daedalic developed game. So yeah. So that's a thing. Nick, are you talking? I can't hear you. Nothing. Nope. It's a trap. No, it's dead. It's dead, Jim. Nothing. Not even a glitch, not even a robo like voice. He says, "Can you hear me?" I'm saying, "No, I cannot. No, I cannot." Let me help you out there, Nick. Hold on. Give me a second. No. Okay. This bonus, Edna and Harvey, Night of the Rabbit, Japonia series. I don't remember any of those. So the Daedalic must have been games that they published. Why do I want to think that they're related to Life is Strange? I wish Nick would know this off the top of his head. Are you there? Okay, you seem to be better. Can I hear you? Nothing. I'm not hearing anything. All right, we're moving right along. Next item is turning a corner from horrible games that never should have been made ever to amazing games that I can't wait to get my hands on a console. Stray is coming to Xbox on August 10th. We did learn this due to an ESRB rating, and it's if you haven't heard of Stray, where have you been? Hugely popular on PC. Just from everything I've heard, a goddamn masterpiece, and I can't wait to play it. I think I actually picked it up on Steam, and I just haven't played it. The game Stray has been on top of Steam's wishlist charts before release. It broke the publisher's record for concurrent Steam players.
Maybe it was. What's
with
the year?
62,000 players. It's also become the highest user rated game of the year on Steam. So it is over the top good. So yeah, the fact that it's coming to Xbox, I love that idea because not all.
You hear me?
I can. But you're frozen. I can hear Rachel more than I hear you right now.
Yeah.
So, Nick, are you with us again?
It's hotel Wi-Fi.
Nick can't hear me.
Can you hear me?
You can hear me? I can hear you, yes.
Oh, I can.
Yeah. All right. So
for a brief moment.
I'm going to make an official call on this that you can't do the news. So that's the end of the news. But we do have one bit of housekeeping before we end.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna stop the audio, stop the video to see if that helps.
I'm sure it will.
If it's audio only.
All right. I see your video is off. Do you hear me? Do
I
you
can
hear
hear
me,
you.
Nick?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, AC Ray. That's that helped.
Yeah, the food poll. We still have the food poll to do because we have one more food poll. All right. So, Nick, hit pick your one favorite.
My one favorite. IGN had a very expansive, in-depth article about the Perfect Dark reboot that Microsoft's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth a read because it goes into why it's had such a troubled development. And a lot of it is the same thing that you hear from a lot of these stories. It's mismanagement, but
Mhm.
it's interesting hearing the specific ways that this one went wrong. I
Mhm.
guess when the game was first announced years ago, uh, there was a years ago when Microsoft first bought up a bunch of studios, including like Double Fine. They started a new internal studio that was going to be doing Perfect Dark reboot.
Mhm.
Uh, they didn't have much at the time, but they were going to do a co-development with maybe I think it was High Voltage was the name of the studio, but they're going to do co-development with a studio that had traditionally been a support studio.
Mhm.
This didn't work out the way they thought it would because as a support studio, what that codev wanted to do is they wanted to like be told what to do. Like, hey, we're here to support you. What do you want us to do? Whereas the Microsoft internal studio, I think the Coalition, I think it was called,
Mhm.
um, they wanted like a creative co-development partner with it. So like right away, what both groups wanted from each other butted heads.
Okay.
And like typical mismanagement, I guess the game was rebooted multiple times. They started working on something, then they kind of scrapped those plans, started over, started working on something, scrapped those plans, started working on something else. And there was never any clear vision, there was never any clear follow through. Eventually, the contract with the co developer ended, and they decided not to renew it. And so that forced the coalition to try to find a new co-development partner. And that's when they settled on Crystal Dynamics, who at
Mhm.
that point, I think they were kind of getting off of the Avengers game. You know, they made a bunch of Tomb Raider games. They've now been sold to Embracer Group from Square Enix. Uh, and it sounds like, based on the article, that once that happened, that was like a good turning point because Crystal Dynamics, the people that were interviewed said that they got like a demo, but nothing in the demo worked really well, and so they basically had to start the game over from scratch. But they were willing to be that like creative co-development partner that it seems the coalition kind of wanted in the first place. And
Mhm.
so it sounds like most of this game is kind of a Crystal Dynamics game, just with the coalition like assisting. Because even at the time, the coalition wanted to make what they threw around terms like triple A, no, quadruple A game. We want it to be huge. We want it to be big, but they weren't even fully staffed yet, so they were still staffing up. And it, from all accounts, it sounded like they bit off way too much, way too quickly. And
Mhm.
at least now, with a staffed up coalition, with a developer like Crystal Dynamics at the helm, things seem to be going well, but the article still said that it's like 5 years away still at this point.
Right.
Like they basically just started working on the game with a good direction, and
Mhm.
everything up until now has kind of been a wash.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's nice to know that they haven't given up on it. There was a really good chance that
Yeah,
might, given all the struggles that they had to get even to this point. That's surprises me that they haven't done that at this point, that they didn't just eventually just throw up their hands and just go, whatever. And AC Ray says I should put a avatar on you, but I don't think I have the ability to give Nick an avatar. I think Nick has
could
to
I
give
give
Nick
myself
an
an avatar?
I
How do you
don't
give yourself an
know.
avatar?
I don't know. I don't think avatars are an option here. But I'll look. I'll look to see. It's a good question because that could be a thing that we might want to do in the future. I have one last item before we close out, and I'm really surprised Nick didn't pick this up. News has come across the wires, as it is, that an Assassin's Creed Black Flag reboot is in the works. This is according to Kotaku. So Ubisoft Singapore, remember them? Those are the guys that they had the contract with, that they have to release Skull and Bones because they had a contract with the Singapore government.
Wait. Before you go any further, is Skull and Bones taking so long that Ubisoft decided we're legally obligated to get them to ship a game? We can't ship Skull and Bones. Let's just get them to reboot Black Flag
Ding, ding,
and
ding.
ship that instead.
I haven't seen that said anywhere, but as soon as I read Ubisoft Singapore's, the one of the company, the one of the studios that worked on the original Black Flag is going to be a major part of helping to bring the game up to spec on modern systems.
So what does that mean for Black Flag? That means Black Flag.
You mean Skull and Bones?
Oh yeah, Skull and Bones. That means Skull and Bones is in theory farther away than the Black Flag reboot.
Yeah,
that game's never coming out.
No.
That game. Look,
I stand corrected. I thought it was gonna come out. I've given up. I mean, I will still hold on to, because I know we have a bet of some kind that we claimed something. I think we did Elder Scrolls 6. Oh yeah, AC Ray, didn't we have something about everybody said when Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out?
Yeah, I think Chaos said this year. He lost. You said fiscal something, and I said 2025. We all lost.
Yeah.
But if we're going by Price is Right rules, I won.
Yeah, sure. Price is Right rules. But
so okay, if this Black Flag reboot is going to be the new game that Singapore is working on,
I'm not saying it is. This is just me speculating that might be what's happening here.
Well, my own speculation now is, if this is the new game they're working on, I wonder if that means Ubisoft can officially cancel Skull and Bones. Now
if they cancel Skull and Bones, that's almost like a confirmation that's exactly what this is.
Yeah, this is the new game they're working on, which also means this will never come out.
Right. Or and it's technically not even a new game. It's just a reboot of bringing it up to modern consoles. So it's not even really a new game. It's just redoing the old game they worked on before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and
we were way off. Nick, Elder Scrolls 2024, Edie 2024 fiscal, Andrew 2023.
Yeah, okay, so fiscal. 2024 fiscal. I won by Price of Rights rules.
That's fiscal's cheating.
It ain't cheating. It ain't cheating if you read it, you saw it, you allowed it. It's not cheating if you fail to redact it completely.
AC Ray, redact the word fiscal from that comment.
I can still see it underneath the Sharpie, AC. Thank you very much.
Anyways,
off of the Kind 95.
So, okay, do you know what year that was? Episode 595?
Episode 595. Well, it's got to have been, we're looking at almost 100 episodes. So I'm going to say last year. Yeah, last year, probably August or September of last year.
Okay, wow. And I guess 2024 And it's like still 5 years
No,
away.
2 years ago. Let's see, 50. Let's see, there's 52 weeks in a year,
Oh,
and
yeah,
we are
yeah,
almost
52
100. So
weeks.
it's almost 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago we said that.
We were so far off.
Edie bought me Elden Ring to redact it. You can't afford fiscal. All right,
Ouch.
so yeah, you know, it's not what you pay, it's who you pay. But anyway, so yeah, they're gonna redo it, and I thought you and I think recently had a conversation that I'd said the Black Flag was my favorite Assassin's Creed, and you're like, Black Flag was crap, and you told me
What? I don't
something
think
other
it's
once. Somebody else maybe said that Black Flag wasn't good at all, and by comparison to other ones.
Someone might have
Other
said that. I
Assassin's
think
Creed.
that's definitely one of the best ones.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
If
one of the
not-
best ones as far as I'm concerned.
If not the best one, it's definitely one of.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, don't know. We don't know anything else other than what was said by Kotaku that Ubisoft Singapore is working on a Black Flag Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake. I shouldn't say not a reboot, but a remake, and bringing it up to. And I'm assuming it's also going to be crossplay like the old one was.
Huh.
So-
Okay. If it's a remake and not a reboot,
It's a remake.
I wonder if that means. Okay, so I'm trying to think of like what the gaming lexicon is, because Dead Space was a remake, Resident Evil 4 was a remake. So that means that in theory they might be treating gameplay mechanics too. So I wonder if that means that they would make it a bigger world on par with what more modern Assassin's Creed games are, or if they're just gonna give the old game a little polish and spiff it up.
Well, according to Kotaku, the Singapore obviously was one of the ones that worked the major part of what my favorite part of that whole game was, which was the boating part, which is why we wanted Skull and Bones, which is why, but they fucked up. Ubisoft fucked up. In Skull and Bones, they are reportedly be a major part of helping bring the game up to spec on modern systems. So if you want to see the Kotaku article, there's a Kotaku article. Thank you, AC.
Okay. I think that implies it would be a like substantial, not just a coat of paint to improve the graphics, but like, hey, we're going back and changing gameplay systems, because things like Final Fantasy VII Remake bills itself as a remake. Remaster. That's the word they always use when they're like, oh, let's improve the graphics, but that's it.
Right,
They
that's
always
a
call it a
remaster.
remaster. Okay.
So I'm thinking that it's probably, if it doesn't meet it on paper for the agreement that was made with the Singapore government at first, it may be something that Ubisoft has negotiated with the Singapore government to agree that this is the game. This counts. And then they can cancel Skull and Bones.
They finally set it out to sea.
Oh man. Give it a Vikings funeral, set it out, and just light it on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my last big item. Okay, so let's
Well, I've actually got
you've got a couple more, but
I'm actually, the internet seems to be doing pretty well.
Right, but we're already 2 hours into this show, and we still have to do the thing. And
Oh, that's right. You want to do the poll.
We want to do the poll.
Okay, the poll of delicious desserts. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. See, if this was more possibly awful mac and cheese stuff, you probably wouldn't have done it. All right, so let's get to. I do not have stuff for next time. We will have to do it. We have a number of really worthy possibilities that were added thanks to both Jaeger and of course oh no, Actually, that there's
Blood
the last Blood Reaper, the last one that you put in, that doesn't count because of course we would eat that. All right, so let me get to my screen so we can look to see in our Discord. My window into my Discord. Okay, here we go. Here is our Discord. If you're interested in joining our Discord, we would love to have you. This is where we actually have a channel called Would You Eat This? Recently renamed from Gross Supermarket Finds. You can join us in our Discord.
Oh.
So a couple of things we're probably going to add. Yeah.
The cola infused ketchup actually sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, that sounds awful. Cola chip. So I'm going to try and see if I can get some of those. It is a 4th of July thing. It might be limited according to what Bieger said. It's available to baseball fans on July 4th. So I don't know if this is only at baseball parks. I may have to go get myself a 4th of July game. So who knows? But we had a poll of this week. All right, so our polls were 3 different possibilities for what we would be eating next week. The poll has been up. Currently, let me get to crappity crap because I have to switch back and forth.
Hey, see, Ray, he's talking about how long the show is, and we include half an hour more talking about Game of Thrones characters.
Yeah, that's a problem that we did.
Hey, I mean, you know what? That was a good show.
I take full responsibility for that going bad. Okay, so
I don't regret that at all. I kind of just want to watch you play more and like destroy the lore and have it go off in all these weird directions.
All right. No,
Anyways.
Stop. All right, stop. I'm trying to get my computer to do stuff and it's really fucking unhappy doing it. All right, so here are our 3 possibilities for, oh my God. YouTube, let go of my computer. Sorry. YouTube is being a dick. All right. First one is Choco Rolls. Choco Rolls are apparently a chocolate and pineapple cream-filled cakes. Obviously, it looks like it's Mexican because Marinella is a Mexico/South America brand, so we will see. I am all about this because I love chocolate, I love pineapple, I love cream. Put them all together, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
But also could be really bad. It could be super crazy, stupid, ugly, sweet, which would be also really bad.
Yeah, you said specifically because the brand manufacturer is kind of the very, very low end.
Yeah, it's a low end Bimbo.
Yeah.
And Bimbo not
Bimbo's
super,
the low end hostess.
Yes, Bimbo's a low end Mexican hostess. All right, so the next option is Bugle's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, blasted with Cinnadust. Nick is all about this. I find this to be possibly also very disgusting.
I would eat that whole bag. I would eat that whole bag and then hold the empty bag above my head to get the last of the dust.
Well, do you really like Cinnamon Toast that much?
Oh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is great.
Oh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So specifically the cereal.
Yeah. I mean, also cinnamon is like really good.
It's all right. It's fine. And then the third item, which is something that I had to pick out because we couldn't get what was actually posted in there because it was seasonal. So I got the spiritual inheritor of that, which was, I think the old one was Twinkie flavored International Delights coffee creamer, which sounds disgusting because I don't like sweet coffee anyway, and the idea of Twinkies is even worse.
Rachel can tell you my coffee is half creamer, half coffee.
Yeah, your coffee is 1/3 cream, 1/3 coffee, 1/3 sugar. So the other one is Hostess Twinkies iced latte. That
I would
sounds awful.
I would drink that.
I'll
would
drink
try
it, but I won't
would-
like it.
I would try it.
I don't. I would. It's not going to be good. It's going to taste like a sweet iced latte, which I have no problem with when they come out of a can, but it's going to have that Twinkies flavor to it, and that's just going to be off. Just 1000% off.
Do you not like Twinkies?
I like Twinkies. I like Twinkies as Twinkies. Twinkies are fine. They're not, anything special. I mean, if I had a choice between a Twinkie, a Ding Dong, or a Ho Ho, I would pick a Ho Ho.
Hey,
And if you had
Siri.
gave me a Ho Ho versus a Little Debbie Swiss rolls, it would be Little Debbie Swiss rolls all day, all night.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Siri says this man won't eat quadruple stuffed Oreos, but he would drink a straight Twinkie.
Yeah. What the hell is
I'm
wrong
a
with
man
you?
of layers.
All right, so let's
Mm-hmm.
see if we can get the results of the poll. And by the way, the answer to you: grilled, smoked bacon wrapped grilled cheese, all day, every day. That's not even a question.
Oh, do you know quesadillas? The tacos? What is it called?
Quesadillas?
Quesabira.
Quesabira, right?
Oh, there's this Mexican place by us that we go to, and the last time we went there, I got a birria grilled cheese. Oh, it was delicious.
Oh wow! Actually, that's another thing that we might want to consider. I might throw this up there: is the tapatio ramen. That you can get like at Mexican restaurants, Mexican food place, like that's the new hot thing. At least we're up where we are. A couple of different restaurants have it. Is it
Okay.
Tapatio is making a ramen cup and then they throw quesabira on top of it?
Oh, that would be interesting. But okay, I might regret saying this. But if you
Mhm.
want something that I do think sounds disgusting,
Yes.
the like ramen mac and cheese, like just add water and microwave it. That actually sounds bad.
Ramen mac and oh, you mean the what was it? Easy Mac?
Yeah, the easy something that you mentioned at the top of the episode.
Easy Mac, yeah.
That
sounds
sounds bad.
It's not great. It's fine. I mean, I used to eat that for lunch. It's fine. It's
Okay.
it's
In
ramen.
my head,
It tastes sort of like Kraft macaroni and cheese. It depends on how much you make
really
it.
bad.
Yeah, it's like bad Kraft macaroni and cheese. All right, so we are going to find out the results of the poll. The results of the poll are currently number 1 for the Choco Rolls is the winner. Really?
Oh,
really?
No cinnamon toast bugles. I'm gonna have to
Cinnamon
buy those
Toast
myself.
Bugles only got 1.
Oh, I shouldn't have been excited.
And 3 Jaeger did 3 cinnamon Twinkies iced latte had 2 votes. The Cinnamon Toast Bugles had 1 vote and the Choco Rolls had 3 votes. So we are doing the birria grilled cheese sandwiches. Oh yeah. That sounds really good. That sounds really good for tonight. So yes, there you go. There's your topic. So we will be eating the Choco Rolls pineapple cream filled things. And I will send them to Nick. Now, that being said, we will be here next week on the 9th. The 9th is a show. It'll all be good. So the 16th, no show. I'm dark. I am out. It is the death anniversary, and you do not want to be talking to me that weekend. So the other thing is that I did not get my list of 3 awful things to eat for next time because I was thinking next week was not a show. I will be posting that today to the Discord. As soon as I'm done with the show, I'm going to go looking for those things, 3 horrible things to eat, and we will be voting on it. So in the Discord, you will find that under the channel of Would You Eat This? Please join us. It will all be there. I'm going to see if I can get that cola chip combination cola flavored ketchup if it's available. It sounds awful. It's at baseball stadium locations. What is it? Let me see if I can pull this up.
Like, is that like ketchup with carbonation?
I don't know.
I
I'm
mean,
trying
even
to
then,
see.
cola with hot dog. I don't know if that sounds bad.
It does. It does. Okay, so here is the story. It is Pepsi created a cola infused ketchup. Here's where you can try it. Pepsi infused ketchup. They reinforce how well hot dogs and Pepsi go together. Yeah, not like that. Not like that. Chase Field in Phoenix, Yankee Stadium, Target Field. We're not going to be able to get it. Comerica Park.
No. Yeah, it looks like
There's
it's
still an
only...
opportunity to enjoy a discounted Pepsi and hot dog combo at the beverage brand will pay your drink according to all weekend long through July 4th. Consumers who purchase a hot dog or hot dogs with a Pepsi at any food service or retail location can get a Pepsi comped by texting free Pepsi to 81234 and uploading the receipt that clearly shows a hot dog and Pepsi purchase to get reimbursed for the cost of a 20-ounce Pepsi via PayPal, Venmo, digital retailer gift, or card. So there you go. Now you made
That's a
something.
lot of work to go through for a free Pepsi.
No, just to get your money back. Sure, why not? Pepsi has previously put its signature flavor on other common cola partner pizza. Pepsi previously teamed with CIA Consulting last year to offer Pepsi-roni, a cola-infused pepperoni, at a Manhattan pizza shop.
Okay, wait. When they say they teamed with CIA Consulting,
CIA Consulting is the name of a company.
That doesn't mean they teamed with the CIA.
Central Intelligence. No, they do not mean Central Intelligence Agency.
Okay, I feel like the government should sue them to not
be named CIA.
Not be named CIA Consulting.
Yeah, so it looks like we will not be able to put, and it's only particular sections at these places. Pepsi lounge ticket required. Or Chase Field in Phoenix, section 130 and 131.
Wraith has a good suggestion. Maybe do a poll of the losers from the last two if you can't find anything.
Okay. Yeah, but we'll make sure to take the cinnamon toast bugles off there because Nick likes the idea too much.
Fine, I'll just have to go find them myself.
You'll have to go find them yourself. So yeah, if you've run across any disgusting supermarket finds, and remember they have to be purchasable in a supermarket. I will also look for my own gross supermarket finds for you if I can't find any.
Okay, what is surströmming?
Surströmming and corpse fruit for the win? Really? Let me take a look at this. SURSTROMMING and or fruit. The smelliest food in the world. Oh no. Surströmming. That is the Norwegian fermented shark. Yeah, no. That's not happening.
That's a bridge too far.
No, it's got to be a supermarket find, meaning I have to get it at a supermarket.
You could probably get that at a Nordic supermarket.
No, they're really, really, really hard to find. And yeah, I really can't find a lot of that other, like the corpse fruit stuff. But I will try to find it. If it's a gross supermarket find, if you come across it in the store, if it makes you laugh, especially if it makes you laugh, let us know. We will pick it up and we will taste test it. And otherwise, how else would you know that Kraft Mac and Cheese gummies are actually quite addictively delicious? How else would you know?
Don't taste at all like mac and cheese.
No, they do not taste at all like mac and cheese. So, Case, a 1 out of 10. We want to rate it. I give it a 3 out of 5. They're good. They're a little addictive. They got a really nice. I like that the chewiness is just right, but most importantly, they're really, really, really sweet. They're really sweet. There's a lot of sugar in here. 7 pieces, and I think I ate way more than that is almost 30% of what you should be eating for carbohydrates in a day. So they're not good for you at all.
I think the texture is good. They were a good consistency of gummy, but they're kind of lacking flavor. They
Are you
were like,
kidding?
yeah, it was like, oh, it's kind of fruity, but I don't know. I've recently downed a pack of fruity gummy savers at a movie some weeks ago, and those were good.
See, I don't. You must eat a lot more
Lifesavers,
candy
gummy
than I do. To
lifesavers.
me, that these were
I mean,
just overpowering, like fruit punch flavor.
The thing is, I don't eat a whole lot of candy. It's just I happen to have like a free coupon for stuff, and so I bought the like lifesaver gummies, and they were very good.
This is America. One box equals one serving. Damn right. If this wasn't a serving, it shouldn't have been in the box. So we'll return. So keep your eye on the Discord. I'm gonna go look for those today. And if you are interested at all to watch me play very badly, because it's under the Game of Thrones mod for CK3 changes a lot of the rules. I've already had to borrow from the Iron Bank, which is terrifying. Because it changes the rules of a lot of stuff of the mechanics. So I'm struggling, to say the least. And so I will be playing it badly, but I'm willing to start a whole new game to get it back on canon, just so you all can see if you're interested in watching me play Game of Thrones with.
It might be interesting to play it and try to see how long you can stay on canon, because CK3 is kind of like all about throwing stuff in your way. So like,
and it's all about
RNG
RNG too. It's all RNG.
Yeah,
everything you do.
Because you didn't mean for Baratheon to die. That was completely on accident. And immediately that changes the whole thing.
I didn't even know that this was supposed to be like a big freaking strategic war until I watched some other playthroughs, and it's like, oh my God, they actually had battles. All I did was march in and everybody died. It's like lasted 30 seconds. I spent 2 hours setting everything up before I started the game, like getting everything sorted out and things, set up properly. So I wasn't at risk of somebody else like coming around and back ending me like the Lannisters might do before we even started the game. And then I started the game and it was over. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, and there's our king. Wait, Stannis? And then I had to go back and look and go, yeah, for some reason, the Mad King died and was executed. And then it shows Robert Baratheon was beheaded on Robert Baratheon's orders.
Oh, really?
So I'm not quite sure what happened, but everybody died. So, and that was everybody else that I've seen, all the other walkthroughs and playthroughs that I've seen. It was like hours and hours and hours of different battles all over the entire kingdom and having to protect yourself from being invaded. And that didn't happen. So I'm willing to give it another shot again to see if I can like what it's like. But if you're interested in watching me play Game of Thrones, I'll be doing it on Twitch probably later tonight. I still have to do some work outside.
Okay. John Box has a good comment about the food. He says there's lots of marinades with Coke and ketchup. So he predicts it will be good.
Yeah, Coke and ketchup is really good. Actually, you want to know the kill. Here's my little tip of the best marinade for pork, but just about anything, but especially pork. All right. Easiest thing in the world, taught for me by a little Filipino grandma. A 1 liter of Coke, so half of a 2 liter bottle of Coke, and a bottle of oyster sauce that you get in the store. Mix it all together.
Really?
Oh my God. Oh my God. And you let it sit overnight. Oh my God. So fucking fucking good. It's so good.
Okay.
If you
then-
feel like juicing it up with a little garlic, but you don't have to. Sorry, not Coke. Sorry, did I say Coke? My bad. Not Coke. 1 liter of Sprite and oyster sauce. Oyster sauce and Sprite. The perfect marinade for.
I feel like that's even weirder.
It's really, 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 really good because the citric acid in the Sprite actually breaks down, tenderizes the pork, so it comes out just succulent. Especially if you slow roast it. So good.
Okay, maybe we'll have to do that next time we have pork. Marinate it in Sprite and oyster sauce.
Sprite, 1 liter of oyster sauce, and one bottle of oyster sauce, and
Edie
1
swears
liter of
by
Sprite.
it.
You can make it for me.
What did she say?
She says you could make it for us.
I am not coming over to your house to slow roast a pork roast. Not going to do that. You can mix your own oyster sauce, Nick. Why don't you make it for her? I will tell you how to do it. We could even live stream me walking you through cooking.
You know what? AC Wraith just gave us the recipe. I could follow this recipe.
There you go. There it is. Pork adobo with Sprite and oyster sauce. See, I told you. Little Filipino lady told me how to do it.
Oyster sauce that's bothering me. The oyster sauce feels weirder than the Sprite. Sprite's just gonna make it soft and tender.
Yeah, right? I don't know where the oyster sauce comes in. That seems weird.
The oyster sauce, because it's salty and it's very, very, very umami. It's got a lot of salt. You've tried oyster sauce beef, right? Nick?
No.
You never had oyster sauce beef?
No, I've never had oyster sauce beef. Is this a common thing?
Yes. It's like broccoli
Really?
beef. Yes, oyster sauce beef is a
Oh, wait.
standard.
Oh, I've had oyster sauce. Yeah.
Oyster sauce doesn't taste like oysters. Let's just say that.
No, you're right. You're right. I just remembered. I did have a bottle of oyster sauce, and it was really good.
Yes.
I was thinking of like canned oysters. I'm
No,
like pouring
no,
that-
no, do not mix Sprite and canned oysters and then stick a pork roast in it.
I was-
Please do
Yeah,
not
that's- I
do
was
that.
Like, oh, take some canned oysters, just
Drain
the
it.
liquid. Yeah, drain the liquid into the pot with the Sprite and pork.
No.
That's why I thought it was so weird.
No.
But okay, oyster sauce. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah,
okay,
no,
maybe I will.
let me can you see your screen or is it just you not having a camera?
I can see your screen. I went to the link that AC Wraith brought up,
Oyster
and
sauce.
That looks very good.
Licum Key oyster sauce, standard
Yes,
in every
yeah.
refrigerator. Everyone should have a bottle of that. It's the greatest stuff ever. Put it on cereal. It's delicious. But yeah, oyster sauce and Sprite. And yeah, bully for you, AC Wraith. This is one of the reasons why I love you. Is I can say I have an old grandma tell me a recipe, and then you pull up the freaking recipe. But maybe one of these days we should have a thing where I walk you through making a recipe. I'm over here, you're in the kitchen, and I'm telling you how to do it. Yelling at you
like
because you're doing it wrong.
You want to stream me cooking on Twitch?
I'll stream me telling you how to cook while you're cooking.
Okay, so I don't get the recipe in front of me. I just gotta
No.
listen to you.
No, and then I gotta tell you how to do it. I'll tell
Rachel-
you.
Rachel
How to
said
do-
she would watch that.
Yes, it would be fucking hilarious because you don't cook, right?
I mean, I'm not bad. I've cooked
You could-
enough.
Right, but
I
it's like
think I'm decent.
if I tell you make a white sauce, a bechamel sauce, you wouldn't know how to do it, right?
No.
Yeah, okay. See, that's the thing is I could I love this. The idea of teaching you how to make a strawberry shortcake or how to make oh God, telling you how to make beef Wellington would be absolutely, I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind because I tell you to cut something in half and it's like, not that way. I just know I could. Yeah.
I
Cheddar
have
Box,
no idea how to
he'd watch
stop
that. He'd watch that. Absolutely.
Look, you brought Brian Valdez back in. He
You
says, "Hey
haven't
guys,
heard.
missed you."
Yeah, I missed you too, Brian. Welcome back. We've been here the whole time. Haven't changed, except we're down a let's see, 2019. So that would be goalie. We're down a goalie and we're down a chaos. So me and Nick, but still. Yeah, you wanna do that sometime?
Sure.
One
Why
one
not?
one weekend, like one Saturday night.
Yeah.
Or one Friday night, or no, Thursday night. We'll teach you how to cook on a Thursday night, and you can make dinner on Thursday night for Rachel. We'll figure out what she wants, and then I'll teach you how to make. I'll walk you through making it.
Okay. Rachel, you're gonna have to pick what you want, and then Edie will walk me through how to make it.
And you can just sit in the other room and watch him making it.
You don't have to decide now. Don't
have to decide now. This is something in the future. They were just brainstorming ideas here. R.I.P. Gully. Gully's still around. He does his own. He has his own show. I mean, it was nothing bad. My schedule changed, and then my schedule changed again, and then I had to change the Game House schedule. And he's like, I can't change it again. So I'm going to have to bow out. I'm really sorry. I'm like, not a problem. I understand. No big thing. Because Sundays are really busy for him. And because I went back to a Monday through Friday job, that I couldn't do it on, Wednesdays like I did before.
Yeah. His YouTube channel is Digital to Dice.
Digital
really cool.
to Dice. Yeah. And
he does a number of like voiceover recap things. I can't think of all of them, but there's a number of them.
Yeah, he what's great is watching him play a game, like a hockey game, like Stratomatic, and he calls it while he's playing it, which is great. So great. He's such a born talent like that. Ooh, you can start seeing it's getting warm in here, huh? We're in the middle of a heat wave. Can't you tell? Starting to get warm. I can't.
I'm literally sitting in front of an air conditioner, so I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. Brian says you should do a goalie special where you exchange voice messages and play it out for us. Oh, that's an idea.
We did have years ago. We had like a weird idea to do like one of those mystery box things, like murder mystery.
I still have the notes on that.
Didn't we write all those notes on like a paper bag that we ripped
paper
up?
Bag? I still have the paper bag. Nick and I were drinking. Oh gosh, we're all into the AMA part of this. Nick and I were drinking at PAX, and I even remember what we were drinking.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Was it the amaretto?
We were drinking amaretto.
Okay. Yeah.
And we came up with an idea. It was when the mystery boxes were getting big, and Nick and I came up with an idea to create a mystery box. And since there's still just a few of us, small enough that we could do this reasonably, is we would figure a way to get all of your addresses, and then we would be sending you, a mystery box about how, Goalie had been kidnapped, murdered.
Was that something? It was something about like, all I remember is we like had to send some emails back and forth about Goalie being like, I don't like this. This is off the show. Or like one of us was going to call and leave a voicemail that was like, you want Goalie to work on Sundays? No, if he does, he's fired.
Right.
And yeah, that would lead to something.
And we were looking,
God,
we were
so
actually trying to tie it into real events. That we were looking on like the Boston Globe and finding, like, looking for particular locations and places in like Boston, in the Boston area, where like you would look at the Google Maps and you would see like a donut shop. So we would write the donut shop into this story so that you could go on Google Maps and you would go to this location and you'd see this donut shop. Oh yeah, we had this whole thing planned out. And then of course we didn't do it, but we spent most of the night just writing this incredibly cool story of a mystery of goalie. Was it goalie being murdered or kidnapped or?
I don't remember. I never deleted those emails, so I assumed I'm trying to find a way to search for them.
Yeah, I gotta see if I can find them too. I'll have to see if I can find the paperback. I've got it here somewhere, I think. Update the audio episodes, please. Shut up. Easy, right? I know. I'm gonna update the episode. Also got to do my 2021 taxes, so 2022 taxes. All right. Well, on that note, a perfect timing, Brian, for us to just leave now. But it's that time, and it's sun o'clock at this time of the year. I get this, and this is going to come up here, and then it's going to go over to this shoulder, and then it's going to wipe out my face. And I'm already sweating because it's a heat wave here in California, and for me, a heat wave is, I think it's like 80 in Northern California, so I'm quite warm. So, Nick, anything else before we close out the show?
No.
All right.
I'm good. I'm a little upset with our audience that they didn't choose the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Bugles, but
you can't always get what you want.
I accept the choice.
The chocolate rolls. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little curious. I'm a little curious about the Twinkie latte. I'm curious, morbidly curious, but I'm curious. All right. So on that note, let's close this out. You've been listening to Game Hounds. Game Hounds episode 685. We recorded this on Sunday, July 2nd, 2023. I'm Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DiNicola. If you want to get a hold of us, gamehounds.net is our website. Gamehounds@gmail.com is our email. We record this show live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, here on YouTube and on Twitch. On YouTube, we are Game Hounds Vids, VIDS is in videos. On Twitch, we are The Game Hounds. We would love to have you join us. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. Hey, welcome back to Brian Valdez. Glad to have you back. It's so cool seeing all of these old fans coming back to us. I'm so glad you're finding us, and I hope you just keep coming back. We do record the show. Yes, we do eventually put it on an audio show. You can find that audio show on iTunes, iTunes, Google Play, Audible, and pretty much wherever you can find a podcast, you can find us. The podcast name is Game Hounds Podcast. You can look for us there. If you do listen to us as an audio show, please leave us feedback. It is important. We do look at it. It does help us, and it also helps us make the show better. If we haven't already talked about it enough, we have a Discord server. We'd love to have you join our Discord server. That is where you can suggest things that we should eat or try. This is where you can vote on the things that we are suggesting that we might want to try. You can also connect with the rest of the Game Hounds community, games that we're playing. It's where I make announcements if I'm about to go live when I'm streaming. So feel free to join. That's the Discord right there. Also, Patreon. Thank you so much to our Patreon funders. If it weren't for them, we would not be doing a video show. They help us pay for all of the subscriptions that are required in order to do all of this. So thank you to our patrons, Drew, Johan Lundgren, Peter Camo, Chunder from Down Under, Nick Sylvain, Terry Sweeten, The Lemon of Truth, Sean Cullen, Andy Shao, Iruga, Damocles X, Nacho Romero, Andrew, and Anonymous. You do make this show happen. So thank you so much for being here. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great one, and take care, and stay out of the heat, dudes. It's no joke. Don't go hiking in 150-degree heat, fuckers. See you later. Bye. All right, we be out. Now, I gotta go because I'm about to burst into flame.
I can see it's not curving like it did last week.
No, I'm about to full on burst into flame, and it's not only that, It's hot. It is very, very hot.
Oh yeah, you're sitting in a sunbeam too.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
yeah, that's
In
that's
a
tough.
uninsulated lead glass window, so it really knows how to make the heat
So
super hot.
It's a magnifying glass.
It's a magnifying glass. For all intents and purposes, it's a magnifying glass. So I'm about to burst into flame.
Yeah. Okay.
So everybody, hey, have a great week. Please do be very, very careful with this heat. It is, I mean, we've got it easy compared to, like southern states. So if you are in the South, please be super, super careful. We've already had a couple of people here in California that have died because they decided to go hiking in 115-degree heat, and it ended up killing the father and
Oh, was
one of the
that here?
sons. Yeah,
I
I
heard
was
about
here.
that. I thought that was in another state.
I was here. So yeah, please, 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 please respect Mother Nature. She's not fucking around and she does not forgive. Don't go hiking in 115-degree heat. You are not that strong. Period. You are not that big a badass. Mother Nature will always smack you down. So talk to you all later. Have a great week. Please be well. And I hope to see all of you next week. Bye, everyone.